Hello and welcome back to my Heaven's Field playthrough. We're now at part 15 and we're in the last episode. The aftermath of a fight with Saber, well, the Black Saber or whatever you want to call it, was shown that Chiro lost his left arm and got a transplant from Archer. He got Archer's left arm. Basically now, well, he's not dead. So, and some creepy stuff happened at the end. Sakura went outside and did some horrible stuff. So we're probably going to see something related to that in this episode, but I don't really know, remember or whatever. So let's start. Beautiful too. A blinding light. The mind and body are pushed away from the entrance by a powerful heavy headwind. The light is so bright I can't even perceive the source. Perceive the source. Battered by the wind, my body rusts away bit by bit. How long have I been here? An infinite that it isn't even a second. At a moment, close to an eternity. Time without time turns years into seconds. Thus, my long-weathered body is being polished by a mirror-like shine while it erodes away. Oh. Forward. This place is suffocating. An aimless, weightless, total vacuum. This world, worn away by wind, is no place for a person to be. That's why I kept going. My volume doubles with each step, and breathing and walking becomes harder. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps are already impossible. I can't go any further. The wind shoves me back when I try, bearing my body away. But if I want to escape, then I have to keep going. The wind is blowing from beyond that light. The light is an entrance and an exit. This place is suffocating. So I need to hurry to the other side. If I can go through the entrance, the wind will be even stronger. If I can go through the exit, the suffering will ease. I reach out. I reach out with all my might. The light is just ahead, but I can't reach it. The aurora blinds me. I just can't reach it. It's suffocating. Blood spills from my mouth as I reach out, but I can't touch it. Why? It's just a meter ahead of me. So why does it feel like I'm aiming for an ever-distant point in the sky?
Shiro.
Huh? The sound of my name wakes me up.
ダメよ。苦しいからって、それ取ったら死んじゃうんだから。
You can't do that. If you try and take it off just because things are getting hard, you'll die. Ilya is staring at me. Ilya, why are you in my room?
なんでって、私の部屋近くだもん。先に目が覚めちゃったから、シロを観察していたのでした。
Because my room's close by, duh. I woke up early, so I came to watch you. Huh? Apparently Ilya was watching me sleep. That being said, was she doing it because... was I crying out in my sleep?
そうよ。シロ、苦しそうに声を上げて、左腕の布を剥ぎ取ろうとしていたわ。
Yeah, Shiro. You were mourning and trying to unwrap your left arm.
まあ、きっとそうなるって思ってたから来てあげたんだけどね。シロが眠ってる間に痛み止めしといてあげたから、今は幾分楽でしょ?
I came because I guessed it might happen. I dulled your pain while you were sleeping, so it should feel better now. I noticed that my right hand is grabbing my left arm. Talk about dodging a bullet. If Ilya hadn't come to help me, I would have torn off the shroud in my sleep. Oh, thanks, Ilya.
お礼はいいよ。私とシロの仲だもん。
No need to thank me, Shiro. We're friends.
それに、約束したでしょ。シロが苦しい時は、私が助けてあげるんだって。
Besides, I promised you that I'd help you if you were ever suffering, remember? The smile takes my breath away. I realize that Ilya truly came here to help me out of sheer goodwill. And feel ashamed.
それに、シロの寝顔が見たかったし、苦しいのに一生懸命我慢しちゃって、シロったら可愛かったわ。
I wanted to see your sleeping face, too. It was so adorable to watch you try to bear with the pain. I slammed the breakers on my beating heart. Ilya, you shouldn't sneak into people's bedrooms. Especially at morning and night. And at night. I'm like another guy, so it's problematic if in a bunch of ways.
そうなんだ。具体的に言うと、どんな風に困るのかしら。詳しく知りたいな、私。
Oh, really? In what way specifically? I'd like to know. Not even questions like that are off limits. You're a girl, yeah, so you shouldn't come into a man's room first thing in the morning. It's dangerous, you hear me? Really dangerous. For you, but also for the naive heart of an adolescent young man who's in charge of his house.
そうなの？けど、それじゃますますわからないよ、シロ。ちゃんと何が都合悪くて、どうして危ないのか言ってくれなくちゃ、やめてあげない。
Really? That's even harder to understand, Shiro. I won't stop unless you tell me exactly how it's inconvenient or dangerous for you. The silver-haired girl gets down on all fours and...
ほら、もっと近くに寄っちゃったよ。さ、どうして朝に来られると困ってしまうの？シロ。
It's getting really sus. Me? I'm coming closer. Now tell me how exactly it's a problem that I'm here in the morning, Shiro. You... I roll away from her in a panic, still wrapped up in my covers. I'm in danger. Every morning I have to face facts of my male physiology. What? If she comes at me looking like that, I'll be branded in shame as a... My head runs smack dab into the wooden post. Anyway, it's dangerous. I collapse to the floor, making excuses.
ごめんね、シロ。
Right. Sorry, Shiro.
その、痛くなかった？
Does it hurt? It hurts. The pain is so hard. I'm seeing stars, but I can't let that slip in front of Ilya. Nah, I'm fine. It woke me up, so don't worry about it. I shake my head and stand up. The physical shock has completely tainted my physiological reaction. Okay, it's about time to make breakfast. What do you want to eat, Ilya? Let me know now if there's anything you don't like.
嘘。シロ、ご飯作れるの？
Huh? Wait, you can cook? About as well as anyone else. As for Western food, I can manage pancakes and stuff. Oh, that's cute. Lia's face lights up. It seems she's quite pleased to learn that I know how to cook. Want to do it together? I was going to call you after I finish cooking, but you might as well come with me to the living room now.
本当？行く行く。シロのエプロン姿見たい。
Really? Yeah. Alright, come. I want to see you in an apron. Okay then. The three of us can work together to one up Tosaka. I promised Sakura I'd cook with her in the morning, so you can help.
やめた。さくらがいるなら行かない。シロ、一人で行って。
Never mind. I'm not going if Sakura's there. Go on by yourself, Shiro. What's this now? Do you hate Sakura or something?
いいえ、どっちかっていうと好きな部類よ。ただ、あの子はシロには合わないから認めてあげないだけ。
No, she's actually the type of person I like, but I can't approve of her because she isn't right for you. Not right for me?
本当のことよ。シロだって気づいてるくせに必死に気づかないようにしてるでしょ。私が今更言っても始まらないわ。
I mean it. You know it too. But you're trying really hard to pretend that you don't. I'm not going to argue about it now. Ilya starts walking out of the door.
それと、どんなトランス状態にあったか知らないけど、むやみに先に進まないで。あなたが見ているものはアーチャーの魔術で、シロの魔術じゃないわ。
Also, I don't know what trance you were in, but don't force yourself to keep going. What you're seeing is Archer's magecraft, not yours.
いずれシロのものになるとは言っても、今はまだ可能性があるだけ。そんな状態で投影なんてすれば、シロの体は内側から崩壊する。
Even if it will become yours eventually, it's only a possibility for now. If you try to project anything in your condition, your body will fall apart from the inside. If I project anything? I repeat Ilya's words in a confusion. And then... the firing hammer goes off. The dream I had on that operating table. A hazy understanding of what I saw and what it meant enters my mind. It was probably an extreme form of projection magecraft from the end of the earth, where it replicates any weapon he sees as swords.
そうよ。アーチャーの宝具は彼だけが使える魔術なの。
That's right. Archer's Noble Phantasm is a form of magecraft that only he can use.
アーチャーは目にした武器なら確実に複製する連鉄の英霊。その力は彼の腕を受け継いだシローにも使えるものよ。今は意識してないだろうけど、その気になればきちんとした起動呪文も思い起こせる。
Archer is a blacksmith heroic spirit who can create solid replicas of any weapon he sees. You've inherited that power through his arm, so you can use it too. You aren't aware of it yet, but you can instantly recall his incantation if you feel like it.
けど、使えるからって使おうなんて思わないで。あの神父の言葉は正しいわ。一度でもその布を解いて投影をすれば、シローは絶対に助からない。
But just because you can, doesn't mean you should. The priest was right. Once you take off that cloth and project something, you'll be beyond saving.
だから、何があっても、その布は外さないで。キリツグみたいに勝手に死んだら許さない。 私が殺す前に私を一人にしたら絶対に許さないんだから。
So, don't take it off, no matter what. I won't let you go off and die like Kiritsuko did. I'll never forgive you if you leave me all alone before I get to kill you myself. Ilya leaves into the hallway. I could sense hatred mixed with genuine concern in her warning.
先輩、株の汚れ取り終わりました。手羽元の準備はどうですか？
Senpai, I have finished washing the turnips. How are the chicken wings doing? I've just finished blanching them. Cut those into fourths and we'll stew them.
はあ、先輩、カレー粉なんて持って何するんですか？
Huh? Senpai, what are you doing with that curry powder? Making a sauce. I use it to glaze with sardines before I grill them. Ilya doesn't like the fish, but I bet she'll eat it if it's curry flavored.
なるほど、冴えてますね、先輩。それじゃあ、さばくのは私がやりますから、先輩は煮込み物のチェックをお願いします。
That's a great idea. I'll trim the fish, so please keep an eye on the stew. Oh, that's okay, since I don't need a knife to trim sardines. I'll ask you when it's time to scrap off a bone. So use the dashi and soy sauce to braise the kobasha squash in the meantime. We should have at least one sweet dish.
はい、了解しました。ああ、片手で綺麗なお魚さばいているとお寿司屋さんみたいですよ、先輩。
Roger that. Oh, you look like a sushi chef trimming fish with one hand, senpai. Sakura cheerfully reaches into the refrigerator. Maybe she feels better after a full night's sleep, because she's in a great mood this morning. And I'm having fun in the kitchen with her too. Sakura thoughtfully anticipates what I'm trying to do and preps everything I need. Cooking together with her is so comforting.
先輩、お寿司屋さん止まってますけど。
Senpai? Sushi chef? You've stopped moving. Oops, space out for a second. We better hurry. It's almost 7. I sigh quietly, so that Sakura won't hear, and resume trimming the sardines. Sardines have a soft flesh, so it's better to trim them with fingers than a knife. It's something I can just barely manage to do with only one working hand.
けど、先輩いつの間にそんな技を覚えたんですか？右手だけでお魚をさばくなんてかなり普通じゃないです。
When did you learn that skill? I don't think it's very common to trim fish with only a right hand. It isn't a skill, I'm just doing the best I can with what I've got. You could learn to do it too.
はあ、そんなものですか。
Huh? That's all? That's all. When people say kitchen skills, they mean stuff like ice carving or butchering a cow with a single knife. Well, you can handle the rest. We'll grill them after you debone them, so put them in a bowl. I step away from the cutting board and move in front of the stove. Turn on the heat under the frying pan and add half a teaspoon of oil. I'm more or less on autopilot thanks to muscle memory, so I start looking up at the sky.
先輩。
Senpai? I grunt absently.
余計なことかもしれませんけど、そのイリアさんと何かあったんですか？
This might not be any of my business, but did something happen with Ilya? My hands holding the pan freezes, but only for an instant. Sakura probably didn't notice. Yeah, a little. We talked before I came to the kitchen. Ilya is who she is, and this isn't easy for me. I have no idea how I'm supposed to deal with her.
それはマスターとしての問題なんでしょうか？
As a master, you mean?
イリアさんはまだ戦うと言っているとか。
Did Ilya say she's going to keep fighting or something like that? She doesn't seem like she wants to fight right now. Or maybe she never wanted to begin with. She was trying to get the Holy Grail as the Einsband Master, but she has another goal aside from that. But she lost it long before this war even started. The person she wanted to see, Kiritsuku Emiya, died 5 years ago. So, what can I do for her in his place? What should I do? Hey, Sakura, if Ilya says that she doesn't want to go back to her country, can she live here with us?
ここは先輩のお家です。私の意見はあんまり意味がないです。
This is your house, Senpai. My opinion doesn't really matter. What are you talking about? This is your house too. I definitely need to consult my partner before letting in a new housemate.
相方って私ですか？
Am I your partner? Yeah, who else? Ilya Tosaka would never help me so perfectly in the kitchen. Sakura, the pan's ready. I ask her for the deboned sardines. Sakura gives them to me with an unsteady motion. What's wrong? Is a fever back?
はい、わかりました。私、イリアさんと仲良くできるよう頑張ります。
Right, I got it. I'll do my best to get along with Ilya. Yeah, I'd be happy to see that. Ilya says she doesn't dislike you, so I bet you'd get along if you talked. Yeah, it would make me really happy. Once the Holy Grail War and our relationship as a master ends, I'd love to have Sakura and Ilya live here. We can make breakfast together without a care in the world, just like today. I'd pay any price to make that happy future come true.
おはよう。
Oh no.
日曜だっていうのに早いのね、二人とも。
Morning. You two are up early for a Sunday. Suddenly an incredible sight walks by.
先輩、今おかしな人が通りませんでした？
Senpai, did you just see a strange person walk by? Well, if you saw it too, then I guess I'm not hallucinating. We timidly peek into the living room. With a loud thump, the newcomer violently plants herself on the floor to take her territory. Then she grumpily pours herself a cup of tea and turns on the TV with a sour expression.
びっくり。遠坂先輩、朝に弱い人だったんだ。
Wow, so Tosaka-senpai isn't a morning person. Sakura? Isn't the term usually reversed for more endearing behavior? We start eating breakfast. I'm sitting next to Sakura at the dining table, while Tosaka is next to Ilya.
あら、割と上品な味付けをするのね、さくら。これなら食べてあげてもいいわ。
Oh, this is seasonally so tastefully, Sakura. I suppose I eat this. I can't tell if Ilya is praising or attacking her.
参ったわね。私、朝は食べない主義なんだけど。
Alright, I lose. I don't normally eat breakfast though. In classic Tosaka fashion, she grumbles even as she munches on the tamagoyaki. All the new words, man. One grunt and she's focused on her food, without saying anything else. Breakfast passes in silence. Only noise comes from the TV, as it alternates through topic after topic. I see a familiar backdrop on the screen. There's no doubt about it. They're talking about mysterious bloodstains found this morning in the Shinto park. Missing people in the Central Park. Large number of bloodstains in the vicinity. It was a rather graphic incident. An older man, out of a morning run, found bloodstains at the park and reported them. Police officers responding to the scene discovered enough spilled blood to account for a single person, as well as partial human remains. Apparently there were enough remains for up to 4 victims. Police are looking into the background of 4. Wait, why 4 victims? Thought they only found enough blood for 1.
そりゃ体の一部ってのが4人分あったんでしょ。
Because the body parts pointed to that many people, probably.
本当に一部しか残ってなかっただろうけど、そこから判断したんじゃない？
Even if they only found parts of the bodies, they can figure out that much. Tosaka, do you think a servant that Zoken did this?
さあね、造剣の仕業かどうかはわからない。けど、これはあの影がやったと見て間違いない。ほら、画面の端っこ。雑草が黒く変色してるでしょ？それ、森であの影が出てきた時と同じなのよ。
Maybe. I don't know whether Zoken was responsible, but the shadow definitely did it. Look at the edges of the video. The plants are all black and withered. Just like when it showed up in the forest. Oh, so maybe I was mistaken, or I don't remember it, really? Then it wasn't Sakura? But she's in some kind of way related to that shadow, I think. Asuka analyzes it casually. But there's still 2 things I don't understand. But why? It's never done anything like this before. Even if it was taking magical energy from the people in town, it never, it didn't need to murder them like this.
そうね。考えられる理由があるとしたら、敵がいなくなったからでしょう。もう正面からあいつらを倒せるマスターはいない。なら、これからは誰の目も気にすることなく、好き放題できるでしょ？
Yeah, if I had to come up with a reason, it could be because it doesn't have any enemies to oppose it anymore. There aren't any masters left that can beat it in a straight fight. Now it can just do whatever it wants without worrying about being watched, right? You mean he's just killing indiscriminately now?
さあ、自分で言っておいてなんだけど、私にはそうは見えない。仮に造剣があの影と関係があるのなら、これは予期せぬ事故だったんじゃないかしら。
Maybe, but personally I don't seem that way. It doesn't seem that way. Even if Zoken and the Shadow are connected, I think this might have been an unforeseen accident.
造剣本人、今頃これを知って驚いてるってのに卵焼きをかけてもいい。
I'll bet in Tamagoyaki that this came as a surprise to Zoken. Not that Tosaka even has any Tamagoyaki left to hold up her end of the bed. And now her eagle eyes eyeing my plates. Why do you think it was an accident?
後片付けができてないでしょ。結婚はともかく、遺体の一部を残すようなやつじゃない。つまりこの現場に造剣はいなくて、あのわけわかんない影だけで食事をしたってこと。
Because he can't clean this up. There's the bloodstains, but Zorken wouldn't have left bodies at the scene. Which means that Zorken wasn't there with a spooky shadow. Having a meal. I see. One more question. How do they know that there are 4 victims? There's only enough blood for one. And they said that they only found enough body parts to make up one person.
重さじゃなくて形の話。一つしかないはずのものが4つあったんじゃない？それなら鑑識するまでもなく被害者の数ぐらいわかるもの。
It's not body mass, but shape. What if I found 4 body parts that each person can only possess one of? You can count those to figure out how many victims there are.
ほら、一面の血の海にさ、違う靴が4足あったら、誰だって何人いたかわかるでしょ？
Think about it. If you found 4 left shoes in a pool of blood, how many people would that add it up to? Sokka talks about it calmly. As soon as I imagine that visual, my appetite suddenly goes away. After breakfast.
シロ、やらなくちゃいけないことがあるから、ちょっと付き合って。
Shiro, come with me. There's something we need to do. She takes me to the dojo. I have no reason to say no, and I was planning to talk to Tosaka about our next steps.
ちょっと、私が呼んだのはシロだけよ。なんだってゾロゾロついてくるのよ、あなたたちは。
Hey, I only asked Shiro to come with me. Why are the rest of you hovering around for? Tosaka's cranky, but we have an uninvited companions.
その、遠坂先輩が妙に先立ってるから、先輩一人だと危険だと思って。
You seemed oddly hostile, so I thought it was dangerous to leave Senpai alone with you.
あのね、シロとは協定を結んだんだから、騙し討ちなんてしないわよ。そんなこと言わなくても分かってるくせに、なんだってついてきたの、さくら。
Shiro and I have an allegiance, you know? I'm not going to backstab him, and you know that. So what are you doing here, Sakura?
だって、先輩を守るのは私の役割です。
Well, it's my job to protect him.
言い切ったわね。
Confident, aren't you?
じゃあそっちは？私がやることなんてとっくに分かってるくせに、わざわざヤジ飛ばしに来たわけ？
And what about you? You know what I'm going to do? Here to join the peanut gallery?
いいえ、私もさくらと同じよ、リン。
No, I'm with Sakura on this one, Rin.
あなたがやりたいことはわかるけど、どんな方法を取るかまではわからないもの。シローに変なことしないか監視に来たのよ。
I know what you want to do, but I don't know how you plan to accomplish it. I'm here to keep an eye on you so that you don't do anything strange to him.
まあいいけど、こっちはシローのためを思って体をいじるんだから、早とちりして邪魔なんてしないでよね。
Right, I'm just going to tweak his body a bit to help him out, so don't get in the way.
悠長にやってる余裕なんてないんだから。
I can't afford to not concentrate on this. Osaka's overnight bags in Osaka's overnight bags in the dojo. She must have brought it in here before breakfast. It's filled with tools. I think I remember seeing at her house. So I think I know what she's going to do to me, but... Sorry, Tosaka. One thing before we start.
何よ、まさかこの後に及んで痛いのは嫌だなんて言うんじゃないでしょうね。
What is it? Don't tell me you're suddenly worried about the pain after all this time. Of course I am. Nobody wants to get hurt. But you haven't explained what you're going to do. Anyone in my place would run away as soon as you brought all this stuff out. Our audience remembers not. I'm glad I have such supportive backup.
説明不足で悪かったわね。どうせあなたと比べてこっちは普通じゃないわよ。文句があるなら出ていけばいいじゃない。
My bad for not explaining enough. From your point of view, nothing is I do is normal anyway. If you don't like it, you can just leave. Tosca is skulking because we're ganging up on her. I'm not complaining, I have a vague idea of what you're trying to do, and I trust you completely, and no matter what you tell me to do, I believe what you say. That's what I promised you last night.
じゃあなんで待ったなんて書けるのよ。
Then why are you dragging this out?
疑問がないならおとなしく言うこと聞きなさいよね。
If you don't have any doubts, then just shut up and behave. That's not the problem. I want to touch base with you on our future direction. We should clearly lay out what we are going to do next. The expression on my side changed. We put off this discussion yesterday, but now is the time to hash it out. It concerns the future of all of us. What are we going to fight? What do we want to do? There's no going back once we decide. No. We passed the point of no return a long time ago. I'm just reiterating that fact.
私は戦いには参加しない。誰かが私を襲うのなら戦うけど、自分から戦う気はないわ。今回の聖杯戦争は勝ち残ったところでどうなるかわからないもの。
I'm not fighting in the war. I fight back if someone attacks me, but I don't know. I don't want to be part of a war anymore. I don't know what's going to happen once the war is over.
私もイリアさんと同じです。私たちではおじい様には勝てないと思います。
I agree with Ilya. I don't think we can win against grandfather.
もう勝敗は決まったようなものですから、ここでおとなしくしていればおじい様も手出しはしてこないはずですし。
If the outcome is already decided, then he might not do anything to us if we just stand aside. Tosuka doesn't say anything. I can't tell what she's thinking, but she doesn't agree with Ilya and Sakura. So I hope she's thinking what I'm thinking. Yeah, I agree that you should stay on the defensive. Sakura, you should stay home and be on guard against Zoken. Ryder's here, so if it comes to a defensive fight, she should be able to protect you and Ilya. Meanwhile, Sasaka and I will think of a way to beat Zoken. He's going to attack anyway. If we stay up here, and we can't let him run riot on the town. There's no telling what when something like we just saw on the news might happen again. Tosuka doesn't interrupt me. Whatever she's thinking, she also intends to fight Zoken with me. We can't leave him be, but we can't ignore the shadow. Either Tosuka and I are going to go out at night, so I want Sakura and Ilya to stay here and be on their guard. I look around to see if anyone disagrees, but... What are you talking about, senpai? Sakura, did I say something wrong? Tosuka and I are the only ones who can fight, so we have to defeat Zoken. That's crazy! Can't even move both of your arms. Do you have any idea what you're saying right now? Sakura?
わかりません。先輩、おかしいです。そんな目にあったのに、どうしてまだ戦うんですか?
Don't understand, Senpai. You're not making sense. How can you still want to fight after what happened to you?
レイジョは先輩の手にはまるってそんなこと。実際戦った先輩なら分かってるはずなのに、どうして
You should
そん
know.
なバカなことを言うんですか？
You should know firsthand that this war is too much for you. Why are you still being so foolish?
これなら戦えない体になってしまえば、もう危ない目に遭わないでくれるって安心したのに、どうして
I was so relieved when I saw that you were too injured to fight. It meant that you wouldn't be in any danger anymore. So why? Sakura. Sakura's trembling. She's skulking, shaking at her own words. I don't know what she's feeling right now. All I can do is answer her question. Sakura, I'm going to win this for you. This is why I have to fight. It's true that I can't overlook what Zoken and the Shadow are doing. But more than that, I want the Holy Grail. Not for anyone else, but for my own selfish wish. That's right. It's for my selfish desire to be on Sakura's side and no one else's.
それは私のためなんですか？
You're doing this for me? Yeah. If we can remove the crestworms from your body, it will help you too. It's going to be okay, Sakura. If I don't have a chance of winning, then I'll make one. I won't fight when there isn't any hope. It's going to be dangerous, of course. I can't promise that I won't get hurt trying. But I make sure to come back to you. I said I protect you, remember? I can't keep that promise unless I stay by your side. Sakura looks down painfully. It almost seems like she's apologizing to me.
はいはい、そこまでにしてもらえる？
Alright, are you two finished yet?
方針は決まったんだから、今さらどうこう言っても仕方がないでしょう。
We are all on the same page now, so let's not beat around the bush.
さくらとイリアはここで留守番。私とシローはとりあえず夜の街を巡回する。ゾウケンたちを見つけても安易に仕掛けないで、勝算がある場合のみ戦ってあいつらの戦力を削っていく。
Sakura and Ilya will hold down the fort. Shiro and I will go out at night patrol. If we come across our enemies, we won't recklessly attack them. We only fight to reduce their strength when we have a chance of winning.
これが今後の方針ってことで OK なんでしょ、シロ？
Are you okay with that direction, Shiro? Yeah, it's reassuring to hear you say that.
そんなの言うまでもないじゃない。
I'm just stating the obvious.
それとさくら、キレイはあんたから刻印虫を完全には摘出できなかったけど、その活動は大幅に抑えたはずよ。だから神事の時みたいに直接何かをされない限り刻印虫の暴走はないの。
And Sakura, Kiri couldn't extract all of the crestworms from you, but I should mostly keep them in check from now. We won't go out of control again as long as nothing triggers them directly at like the time with Shinji.
逆に言えば、あなたがこの屋敷に留まっている限り、ゾウケンは最後の一人にはなれない。遅かれ早かれ、あいつはサクラを奪いに来るんだから、戦わないなんて選択肢はないのよ。それが分かってるくせに、おとなしくしていようなんてよく言えたものね。
On the other hand, as long as you stay in this house, Zoken hasn't won the war. He's going to come for you sooner or later, so you can't avoid fighting him forever. You should know better than to talk like that.
それはそうですけど、おじいさまだって私たちが何もしなければ手荒なことは。
You're right, but grandfather won't get rough with us as long as
さくら、いい加減その卑屈な考えやめなさい。造形はあんたの祖父でもなければ死でもない。あれだけ非道を重ねるやつをまだ人間だって思ってるの？
Sakura, stop being such a coward. Zouken isn't your grandfather or your master. Do you really think someone who commits atrocities like that is human?
いいえ、おじい様が人だなんて思ったことは一度も。
No, I've never once thought of grandfather as human.
ならあなたも覚悟を決めなさい。私とシローが外で戦うように、あなたもここで戦わなくちゃいけないんだから。
Make up your mind. You need to fight your own battles, just like Shiro and I are going to be fighting our own out there.
もし造剣がここを襲った時、あなたは何としても逃げ延びること。ライダーさえ倒されなければ聖杯は完成しない。ライダーが生きている限りはあなたにだって助かる希望があるんだから。
If Zouken attacks, you need to escape and survive, no matter what. As long as Ryder's still alive, the Holy Grail isn't complete and there's still hope for you. She towers over Sakura with the dignity of a big sister. Sakura nods meekly and says that she understands. After that, I asked Tosaka why we were here in the dojo.
そうね。まずは裸になってもらおうかしら。
Right. First, I need you to strip naked.
何をするにしても、シローがどんな体をしているか見ておかないとうまくいかないでしょ。
This isn't going to work unless I see exactly how your body has changed. And she gives me an outrageous answer. Huh? What?
何？今の驚くようなこと？さくら。
What are you so surprised for, Sakura?
驚くようなことです。先輩に裸になれって遠坂先輩は何を考えてるんですか？
Of course I'm surprised. What are you thinking? I'm asking him to strip?
何ってシローのことに決まってるでしょ。
I'm thinking about Shiro, obviously.
あなたも危ないけど、シローだって負けず劣らずでやばいんだから。今のうちにいろいろやっておかないとダメだってさくらだって分かってるんじゃない？
You're in danger, but he's in just as much as danger. You know that he'll be in trouble unless we take some measures.
それはそうですけど。
I know, but...
分かってるなら口出ししないでよね。
If you do, then stop interrupting.
ほらそこ、ポカンとしてないでさっさと上着を脱ぐ。魔除けのサインを入れるんだから服着てたらできないでしょ。
Come on, you. Stop spacing out and take off that shirt. I'm going to apply a sign of evil warding, but I can't do that if you're clothed. Tosaka glares, staggers at me. But Sakura's gaze is just as painful. It's like her anxious eyes are asking me if I'm going to go over to her sister.
早くしなさい。早めに体になじませないと夜の巡回に間に合わなくなるんだから。
Hurry up! Your body needs time to acclimate to it before we go out on patrol. Okay. The situation is too serious to worry about feeling ashamed. I don't want to get naked, but taking off my shirt is just like changing clothes. So it's it's no big deal. I took off my shirt, Tosaka. Now what?
こっちに来て。私の魔術刻印を少しだけ使ってあげるから。
Come here. I'm going to use just a little bit of my magic crest. Over to you? Looking like this?
当たり前でしょ。左手で直接触れて、シローの日韓を把握して、その上で魔除けの刻印を上書きするんだから。くすぐったかったり痛かったりするけど、我慢しなさいよね。
Of course. I'm going to touch you with my left hand. Gauge your physical condition and then inscribe a ward of evil on you. It might tickle or hurt, but I need you to bear with it. She beckons me over. I can't escape from this dojo now. I give up and go over to Tosaka. I have a feeling Sakura's eyes are boring into me.
じゃあ始めるけど、その前に確認事項ね。この前はシローの体にスイッチを入れようって言ってたけど、あれはやめるわ。
One warning before I start. You've talked about flipping a switch in your body before, but don't do this time.
ここで簡単に魔術回路のオンオフができるようになったら、シロー自身が危ないから。
You'll be in danger if you open your and close your magic circuits carelessly. Okay, got it. My voice pitches higher, and it's getting hard to breathe. I'm half naked and really close to Tosaka. Why wouldn't I be nervous?
ちょっと、落ち着きないけどちゃんと聞いてるの？
Hey, are you listening to me? I need you to relax. I'm listening. I am...
ならいいけど。
Fine then.
それで、今回するのは逆に魔力を抑える手術よ。
I'm about to do surgery to suppress your magic energy.
今のシローの体は不安定で、いつアーチャーの腕から魔力が逆流してくるかわからない。だから、とりあえず左肩とおへそと喉に針を入れて、あなた本人が全力で意識しない限りは、左腕とはつながらないようにするの。
Right now, you're unstable, and Archer's power could backflow into you from his arm at any time. I'm going to insert needles into your left shoulder, throat, and belly button, preventing you from connecting to your left arm unless you try really hard to.
同時にこれはあの影対策でもあるわ。
It's a precaution against the shadow too.
あいつはそこにいるだけで魔力を吸い上げていく。今からシローに刻むサインは対魔力の効果もあるから、あいつと向き合っても少しは楽になるはずよ。
That thing sucks up any magical energy near it. This sign I engrave in you will give you some magic resistance, so you should feel less uncomfortable the next time you run into it. With that, Tosaka places her palm on my chest. I yap in surprise and barely manage to stop my feet from beating a hasty retreat.
あれ、暑かった？けど我慢してもらえる？私の左手から刻印を移すから、これ以上は温度を下げられないの。
Oh, is it hot? Can you put up with it? I'm going to transfer a crest to you in my left hand, so I can't lower the temperature any more than this. No, the temperature is fine. Tosaka's hand was soft. It nearly shattered my heart. Each time her girlish, slender fingers touch my chest, I can feel the heat rising in my head.
よし、胸の方はだいたいつかめたわ。あとはおへそだけど、ちょっと痛いわよ。指入れるからできるだけ動かないで。大丈夫。傷はつかないし、あんまりかき回さないから。
Okay. I have a good idea of your chest now. Next, I'll do your navel. And it's going to hurt a little. I need to stick my finger in your belly button. So try not to move. Don't worry. I won't move it around too much, so it won't injure you. Wait. Move what around? Tosaka? My body spasms. My stomach. Osaka's palm on my chest was unbearable enough, but now something small and sick-like is under my skin, digging around inside my body. Wait, not yet.
だから痛いって言ったでしょ。気が散るからそんな声出さないでってば。なんかいけないことしてる気になるじゃない。
I said it would hurt. Stop making those noises. It's distracting. It makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. You idiot. It's only making me blush even worse when you talk about it that way.
これでおへその方はおしまい。あとは肩と喉だから逃げずにおとなしくしててよね。
That's it for your navel. Now I'll move to your shoulders and throat. Still okay? Stay still, okay? I'd rather dash out of the room like a scared rabbit. I want to run, but it'll just make Tosaka more self-conscious, so I stop protesting.
ほら、ちゃんと胸張ってよ。今のを肩にするから、今度は頑張ってよね。歯を食いしばって変な声出さないこと。
Come on, suck it up. I start with your shoulder. Hang in there, grit your teeth, and stop making funny noises. Okay, I'll try. I look away from Tosaka, feeling embarrassed. My whole body must be red, not just my face. I know we're doing this for the magecraft, so I feel bad for making Tosaka uncomfortable too. How am I supposed to look her in the eye after this?
はい、これで終わりよ。私は道具を片付けてくるから、シローは体を冷やしてなさい。
Yeah, I'm finished. Go cool off. I need to put away my tools. Tosaka starts packing her first aid kit, looking like box, into her overnight bag. Still flushed, I finally managed to catch my breath. And then... Huh? I noticed that Sakura looks like she wants to say something. She's looking away and wriggling her hands uncomfortably. Wringing her hands. Sakura, what's wrong?
そのですね。
She glances at my face. Then she takes a deep breath, as if to work up the courage, and asks,
先輩、私たち恋人同士なんですよね。
Senpai, we're a couple, right? My cheeks suddenly reach a boiling temperature again, and just after seconds of cooling off. Senpai? Stop it. It's absolutely the wrong time to get tongue-tied. Yeah, you're my...
ですよね。なら、姉さんにドキドキするのはおかしいです。
That's right. I'm just being weird for letting my sister get to my head. Finally, I realize that Sakura's been looking so hurt because she's been pouting. Sorry, but Sakura, Tosaka and I aren't like that. I just couldn't help myself in that situation.
わかりますけど、我慢してください。先輩は、私の恋人なんですから。
I know I know that, but please try to keep it together. You're my boyfriend. I know. I couldn't resist. I'm a guy and I have a crush on Tosaka since my first year of high school, so there was nothing I could do. Sorry. I'll keep it together next time. I'll do my best not to let her get in the better of me.
本当ですね。次もこんなことがあったら、私だって怒っちゃいますからね。
Really? I get mad if it happens again. I'll tell her I really will try. Feeling apologetic from the bottom of my heart. I can't believe I'm only now realizing it, but well, it's awfully nerve-wracking living under the same roof with 3 girls. Time is 11:30 a.m. It's almost lunchtime. The kitchen is busy and filled with an unapproachable tension.
遠坂先輩、お昼はみんなでつけるようなものにしようと思うんですが、苦手な料理とかありますか？
Tosaka-senpai, I was thinking about making something light for lunch. Is there anything you don't like eating? From the corner of the kitchen, Sakura timidly asks Tosaka a question. She answers.
そう、 じゃあ私は麻婆豆腐を作るから。
Okay, I'll make mapo tofu then. Tosaka completely ignores Sakura's question and starts making tofu on her own.
倹約ね。シロ、あの二人に調理を任せるなんて正気？
This is perilous. Have you lost your mind letting those two cook, Shiro? Ilya is sitting upright on a seat cushion. She doesn't sugarcoat her question. I can see how from Ilya's point of view, Sakura and Tosaka look tense.
あの二人、放っておいたらますます仲が悪くなるわよ。
The longer you leave them alone, the more tense they'll get.
そんなこと分かってるくせに、どうしてこんなことになったの、シロ？
Why did you ask them to do that when you know how they are around each other? It's just kinda happened. When I mentioned lunch, Tosaka said that she cooked while Sakura insisted that it was her job. We talked about it quite a bit, but neither was willing to back down. So I said they should just both cook.
シロがそう言っちゃったの？そう。それじゃ引き下がれないわよね、二人とも。
That's what you said? Neither of them looks ready to give in though. Ida accepts my explanation and takes a polite sip of tea. As expected of a princess, even without knowing proper etiquette, the way she drinks tea is so graceful.
けどシロ、間を取るんだったらシロが作ればよかったでしょ？なんだってリンとサクラを一緒にしたの？
But Shiro, shouldn't you be there to bridge the gap between them? Why are you having only Rin and Sakura cook?
トサカとマトウは敵同士で、リンはサクラを殺したがっているのよ。
Tosaka and Mato are enemies. Rin wants to kill her, you know. That was only until yesterday. Tosaka's helping us because she doesn't want to fight Sakura. And there aren't any enemies. They get along and I trust them to make lunch because I think they do well.
仲がいいって、あの二人が？
Huh? They get along? Is that such a surprise? We were enemies, but we are friends now. They're the same.
そりゃ、私とシロは特別だけど。
But you and I are special. That's got nothing to do with it. You can just, you can tell by just looking. Tosaka's being more gruff than usual, and Sakura's immediately worries she's done something wrong, meaning...
始終気にかけてるってことね。けどそれを知られたくないから冷たい顔してサクラを無視してるんだわ。
They both care about each other, but she doesn't want Sakura to know. To know that, so she's acting cold and ignoring her. Yeah, Sakura knows that too. She's making mistakes that she wouldn't normally. She can't help but worry about Tosaka. Double making is a mistake, I think, right? She's making mistakes. That doesn't sound right, but I'm not an English expert, as you may know. So, who am I to correct someone?
言われてみればそうね。じゃあ何？二人とも仲良くなりたくてうずうずしてるくせに恥ずかしいから話しかけられないってこと？
That's true. Now that you mention it, so, but they're too embarrassed to talk to each other, even though we want to be friends? Why not? I don't know how Tosaka feels about it, but I can tell that that's how Sakura thinks. I'm sure that Sakura likes Tosaka and wants Tosaka to like her. Otherwise, she wouldn't refer to her as big sister.
ああ見えて不器用なのね、リンは。
Rin is actually pretty awkward, huh? Ilya watches the pair in the kitchen. She sounds impressed. I follow her gaze. They should be about halfway done. Tosaka and Sakura are standing side by side in the kitchen, each cooking whatever they want. Both are silent. One holds a frying pan, while the other holds a ladle. The silence drags on. It's starting to get suffocating, even for me. Then, like true sisters, we both break the ice at the same time. What? If you're going to say something, say it. I hear you out. It's nothing really. Did you want to say something, Tosaka-senpai?
別に強いて言えば他人の味付けって珍しいでしょ。だからちょっと教えてもらえたら役に立つなって思っただけ。
Not really. I was just thinking about how it's not every day that you get to see what seasoning someone else uses. So it might be useful to know which one you use.
そうですね。私も登坂先輩のレシピを教えてもらえたら嬉しいです。
Yeah, I'd like to hear about your recipes too.
終わっちゃった。呆れたわね。これじゃ一生あのままだと思うわ、私。
And we're done. For heaven's sake, it's like watching grass grow. Scary thing is that I can't deny it. Tosaka's usually so open and unreserved. So why is she so shy when it comes to Sakura? It goes for Sakura too. She's called Tosaka Ne-san when she was with me, so it's painful to watch her being so polite with her now. Sakura.
何でしょう、先輩。
What is it, senpai? I want to talk to you. Come here.
先輩、外に何かあるんですか？
Is something outside? No, the outside has nothing to do with this. I want to tell you a secret.
ああ、内緒話ですか？姉さんには言えないこととか。
Huh? A secret? Is it something you can't tell my sister? Yeah, that's exactly it. Hmm? I mean, the way you address Tosaka, you don't call her Ne-san to her face, right? It's pretty obvious that you want to, but you keep trying to yourself from saying it.
バレバレって姉さんにですか？
Wait, it's obvious to her? Oh. It was just supposed to be a leading question, but Sakura's even more bashful than I expected. She's as shy as a shy little sister who thinks a lot of her big sister. No, Tosaka hasn't noticed. For some reason, she's really clueless when it comes to you. She might even think that you dislike her.
そんなことありません。姉さんが私を嫌うのは当然だけど、私は姉さんと一緒にいられて嬉しいです。こうして二人でお昼ご飯を作るなんて夢にも思っていませんでしたし。
That's not true at all. I'd expected her to hate me, but I'm happy just to be around her. I never dreamt that we would get to make lunch together. Yeah, so why don't you just tell her that? Even that thick-headed Tosaka would realize it if you said it to her face. If you do that, then she realized without me even telling her that Tosaka wants to get along with her too.
先輩。
It's nothing anyway. Try calling her Ne-san. I'm sure just hearing that will make her a completely different person.
そうでしょうか。登坂先輩。 けだと思います。
I see. I'm sure it will make her uncomfortable.
私は魔党の魔術師で、姉さんみたいに何でもできるわけじゃない。私みたいな出来損ないが妹なんて、登坂先輩はがっかりしています。
I'm a mortal mage, and I can't do anything like she can. I'm sure Tosaka Senpai would be disappointed in how much of a failure I am. Come on, don't bring that baggage into your sisterly relationship. You like Tosaka, and she's your big sister. It's the clearest kind of connection there is. I guarantee that both of you think well of each other. It even makes me a little jealous.
そうなんですか?
Oh, really? Yeah, so try addressing her as your big sister. I trust you as much as I trust her, so you don't need to be afraid. I'd like to call her that for her sake too. I'd like you to call her that for your sake too.
姉さんのためにも。
For her sake? I don't know what indecision Sakura is grappling with. She puts her hands together like a prayer and looks deep in thought. Then?
はい、頑張ってみます。私。
Okay, I'll do my best. I return to the living room. Sakura exchanges a look with me, does a quick gesture to pump herself up, and goes back to the kitchen.
おかえりなさい。さくら、肩がガチガチだけど、何かあったの?
Welcome back. Sakura looks really tense. What happened? Well, the rest depends on her courage. I think she'll be fine though. Huh? I plop back down on a seat cushion.
姉さん、この唐揚げ、あとは私がやってもいいですか?
Nesan, can I fry the chicken after you're done?
ええ、あとは揚げるだけだし、さくらに任せる。さくら、今。
Yeah, it's the only step left so you can... Wait, Sakura, did you just...
はい、それじゃあ、唐揚げは私がやりますから。姉さんはレタスをちぎってください。盛り付けを任せますから。
Yes, when I fry the chicken, so please, cut the lettuce. Nesan, I'll let you plate the food.
それはいいけど。
I've just noticed the head on Rin's apron. Right, sure, but the conversation becomes stiff. It's even more tense than before, but the duo falls silent again. They watch each other, holding their breath.
やっぱりおかしいですか、姉さん。
It's weird, isn't it?
おかしいことはないけど、そんな風に呼ばれたことがないから驚いただけよ。
Heck, it isn't weird. I was just surprised to hear it.
それじゃあ、
So,
文句はないわ。呼び方なんてさくらの自由だし、私だってさくらって呼び捨てにしてるし、まあ先輩って呼び方が2人もいると混乱するし、そっちの方が分かりやすいんじゃない?
I don't have a problem with it. You're free to call me whatever you want, and I always say Sakura without any honorifics. Plus, you have two senpais here, so it would be less confusing if you called me something else, right? Tosuka laughs with a reluctant tone and turns away from Sakura. But she's blushing and can't hide the grin on her face. Sakura's probably noticed too. Their work after that exchange became even more awkward. We both made mistakes and messed up the plating, covered with fried chicken and pepper, turned the mapo tofu into fiery lava, and even forgot to turn on the rice cooker, so lunch was missing rice. It was a disaster. Still, I could stop Tosaka and Sakura grinning whenever one thought the other wasn't looking. They looked so happy as could be.
まったく、ほんと不器用ね。
Goodness, we're so awkward with each other. Leader remarks with an expiration before making a face as the mapo tofu tingles her tongue. I nod in agreement and enjoy the slipshod lunch they made for us. After lunch, I take a break and go back to my room. Tosaka said she had something to do, and took Ilya to her room.
イリアの手を借りて造形対策をするの。刻印が馴染むのにも時間がかかるだろうし、午後は休んでいていいわ。
Ilya's going to help me come up with a countermeasure against Zoken. It'll take time for your body to adapt to the crest, so take it easy in the afternoon.
シローがいても邪魔なだけだから。
You'll just be in our way. So she said, we don't have any way to fight back against Zoken right now. All there is to do is wait for Tosaka to finish whatever she's working on. Sakura goes back to her own bedroom. She had several dizzy spells while we were cleaning up after lunch. I was relieved when I saw her in good spirit this morning, but she's still suffering from a fever. She took our advice to rest in her bedroom, if she felt tired at all. And now I'm alone, looking at my left arm. Couldn't move it at all before, but now I can slightly bend it at the elbow. It still feels completely numb, but on the bright side, it doesn't hurt much anymore. If there's any pain, it mostly from the crest that Tosaka's transplanted to me. My shoulder, throat, and dentin just below my navel. Each spot feels like one of Frankenstein's monster bolts are screwed into it. First, they put someone left arm on me, and now they're holding my body together with bolts. I picture myself as a cyborg from a sci-fi movie. It's an amusing image, but there's nothing funny about my condition. I wanted to check out my arm in the mirror, but I can't even stand up in front of it. It's something before 2 p.m. I've got time to kill, so I go check on Tosaka and Ilya. Speaking of which, I haven't seen Ryder. No, I should look after Sakura first. Since Ryder doesn't get so much screen time, I would like to go see Ryder. I think that's the smartest one to do. Well, it doesn't really matter because probably it's just get favor points with this person or that person. I haven't seen Ryder. Speaking of which, I haven't seen Ryder all day. Knowing her, she's keeping watch over Sakura from the shadow nearby. I should say hi to her if she's around. Ryder's nowhere to be found in the house. She has her own bedroom, but there's no sign she's ever used it. I try to think of a location she likes, that would also give her a vantage point of Sakura's room. And decide it has to be here. The only place she can hide with no one else around, by watching Sakura from a distance, is the shed. Are you in here, Ryder? I call out into the empty shed.
待機していますが、何か用ですか、シロ?
I'm standing by. What do you need, Shiro? Ryder appears along with her aura. She must have been in spirit form. Now then, I just came to say hello, but now that we're face to face, I'm getting nervous. Ryder tends to keep people at a distance, but that doesn't particularly bother me. But as a healthy young man, I'm not sure where to point my eyes when I'm around her.
何か用件があるのかと尋ねたのですが。
I asked if you have had business with me. Oh, I'm not really here for that. I haven't greeted you today, so I just thought I'd come say good morning.
そうですか。暇なのですね、あなたは。
I see. You must be very idle. She replies bluntly. But I expected this much. It's actually easier for me to that she is this way. Yeah, I'm free. I'm just wandering around since I have nothing to do. Is this where you stand guard over Sakura?
ええ。私はさくらのサーバントですから。
Yes, I'm her servant.
彼女が命じない限り、あなたや遠坂凛を守ることはありません。
I will not protect you or Rin Tosaka unless she orders me to. Really? Good. It makes me feel better. Sigh in relief. I was worried that Sakura might be pushing herself too hard. Thanks, Ryder. Keep taking care of Sakura. I wave and leave the shed.
待ちなさい。質問があります。
Wait, I have a question. I stop before I return to the yard. What? There isn't a lot I can tell
いい
you.
え。あなた自身のことですから。答えられないはずがない。
It is a question about you. I'm sure you can answer.
エミやシロ。今のあなたの言動がわかりません。
Shiro Emiya, I do not understand your behavior.
私はあなたの護衛を拒否したというのに。なぜ良かったなどと言えるのです。
Why are you relieved that I've refused to protect you? Huh? Is that all? Sure, having you be my bodyguard would bring some peace to my mind, but I think a man should protect himself. As for Tosaka, well, whatever happens, I'm sure she'll figure things out.
その体で自分の身を守るですか。私には強がっているようにしか見えませんが。
You think you can protect yourself with that body? That just sounds like bluffing to me. It is a bluff. I'm weak in a fight, so bluffing is all I have. If I'm being honest, I'm pretty nervous, but I want you to stay with the way you are. If you move, that will exhaust Sakura, and I don't want her to use any more magic energy.
なるほど。確かに私が動けば、桜が苦しむ。
I see. It is true that Sakura would suffer if I were to act.
こうして実体化するだけでも桜に負担をかける以上、余分な仕事は増やさせたくないと。
Even taking material form places a burden on her. So you don't want to increase my workload unnecessarily. That's right, I want you to only protect Sakura. Oh, I might ask you to look after Ilya too if I kick the bucket.
都合のいい話ですね。私を邪魔者と分かっていながら、最悪の時は頼ろうと。
How self-serving. You would ask me for help in your most trying time, even though you know I'm an obstacle. Well, yeah. Is that bad? Ryder doesn't answer. She's staring straight at me through her blindfold. When I make you a deal. If you're ever in a pinch, I promise to help you. Will you help Ilya then? It's give and take.
返答はできません。私が窮地に陥った時、すでにあなたが死亡している確率の方が高いのですから。今の提案は魅力的ではありませんね。
I cannot answer that. It's likely that if I were ever in a dire straits, you would already be dead. Probably the proposal isn't very tempting. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't matter much if I was dead by the time you are in trouble. Sorry, that was pretty self-serving of me. I'm in a bind then. In that case, it would be best if I took Ilya to a safer location. She doesn't want to go to the church, and I'd rather not leave her alone in her castle.
まったく。本当にあなたは危なっかしい。
Honestly, you're so unreliable. Huh? Did you say something, Ryder?
ええ。今の提案を考えると言ったのです。あなたが私の窮地を救ったのなら、それ以後は必ずあなたの望みに応えましょう。それでいいですか、シロ?
Yes, I will consider your offer. If you save me from a desperate situation, then I promise to honor your wishes. Is it acceptable, Shiro? Really? But you said it was being selfish. I was being selfish.
都合は合っています。あなたが先に私を助けた場合のみの話ですから。
Can serve our mutual interests, but only if you help me first. My eyes widen. I'm happy that Ryder took me up on my offer, but more than that, Ryder, did you just laugh?
いいえ、喜ばしいことはありませんでしたから。笑みを浮かべる道理はない。
No, there's nothing to be happy about, so there's no reason I would have smiled. But I saw you laugh. Good reason or not, it was really subtle, a really subtle change, so I almost missed it.
ありえません。私が否定している以上、それはあなたの見間違いです。
It's impossible. I'm saying that it didn't happen, so you must have misunderstood. Ryder flatly denies it. If she's just insistent, maybe I really was imagining it. This is an awkward silence. I was planning to just go back to the house, but there's something about the way Ryder is looking at me that seems to pull me in. She's as cool and stoic as ever, but I feel like she wants to say something else. The tension in the air feels nearly confrontational. Also, this thought just came out of nowhere, but Ryder's tall. Her hair is long, and her legs are slender, well proportioned. I've only ever seen her face once, but she was incredibly beautiful under her mask. Tosuka and Sakura are beautiful too, but Ryder is on a different scale entirely.
何か疑問ですか、シロ?
Do you have a question, Shiro? It's no big deal, but can I ask you something?
構いません。何でしょうか?
I do not mind. What is it? Okay, you're pretty tall, Ryder. How tall exactly? I ask her frankly. Wait, why is she backing away from me? Ryder?
いえ、特に意味はありません。気にしないようお願いします。
No, there's no reason for this. Think nothing of it. Okay, so how tall are you? If you're taller than me, you have to be more than 170 centimeters.
その質問には答えない。疑問があるのなら他の質問にしてください。
I cannot answer your question. Please ask me something else. You can't answer? You don't know how tall you are?
そういうわけではありません。とにかく他の質問にしなさい、シロ。それ以上同じことを口にされたら。
That's not what I meant. Ask me something else, Shiro. If you repeat that again, it will upset me. Huh? I'm clearly making her uncomfortable. If she's this anxious, then maybe. Ryder, are you insecure about your height? Ryder stiffens. I appear to have hit the nail on the head. We both fall silent again, when it becomes too much for Ryder to bear.
おかしいですか? 私がこのようなことにこだわるのは。
Is that so strange for me? It isn't strange. I just wasn't sure why you froze up. Why do you care so much about your height?
理由は言わずとも明白でしょ。あなたとて 分かっているはずです。このような背の高い女など見苦しいだけで可愛く。
Think the reason is evident enough. Surely you must feel the same way. A tall woman like me is ugly and not lovely at... Why not? I think you look cool, Ryder. Talk about a trivial insecurity. I sure wish I could be that tall. Another silence. I'm starting to wonder if I'm interfering with Ryder's guard duty. Am I bothering you, Ryder?
そうですね。私は魔頭造剣の襲撃に備えて姿を隠している。あなたがこう声をかけてきては姿を隠している意味がない。
Well, I was hiding to be on guard against any attacks by Zulkan. If you come to speak to me, then it defeats the purpose of concealing myself. Right, I should be getting back. Sorry to bother you.
待ってください、シロ。
Wait, Shiro. For the second time, I'm stopped and turn around. Ryder hesitates and bites her lips.
手が空いているのなら、さくらの看病をしてください。あなたがいるといないでは、さくらの気の持ちようが違いますから。
If you're free at the moment, then please look in on Sakura. Her mood changes greatly when you're not around. Okay, I go right now. She does tend to push herself as soon as I take my eyes off her. I make sure she's resting. Ryder's right. The guest house is just over there, so I should go look after Sakura. Right, I forgot the reason I came out here to begin with. I turn back to Ryder for a third time.
なんでしょう、シロ。
What, Shiro? Good morning, Ryder. I hadn't actually said it yet. Good. I'm so dumb for forgetting what I came here to say. And then?
おはようございます、シロ。では、私からも言い控えていたことを一つ。
Good morning, Shiro. Allow me to make a remark as well. Ryder goes back to her usual attitude, watching me. What?
あなたの行動は無駄が多い。朝の挨拶には遅すぎる。時刻はもう昼過ぎでしょ。
You waste time on trivial matters. It's too late to say good morning. You're in the afternoon now. Ugh, that's embarrassing, to be honest. I forgot about you until just earlier.
でしょうね。今後は気をつけてほしい。
It seems so. Take great care in the future.
それと、先ほどの言葉は忘れてください。
Also, please disregard what I said earlier. Huh? What do you mean?
あなたが私を邪魔者と思っているということです。間違いでしたので、訂正します。
But how you must think me a nuisance. Allow me to amend that statement. I don't think you're a nuisance at all, Ryder.
ええ、それはわかりました。何をするでもなく、ただ挨拶をしに来たあなたですから。
Yes, I know that now. After all, you came here solely to greet me, and for no other purpose. Turns out I didn't imagine it. Now that I'm face to face with Ryder, I can see that she's wearing a happy smile. Sakura, are you there? Look quietly.
先輩。
Huh? Senpai? I hear a languid voice from the other side of the door.
ちょっと待ってください。すぐに着替えますから。
Oh, just a minute, I'll get changed. She sounds a little panicky. I must have caught her sleeping. About 2 minutes later.
お待たせしました。どうぞ入ってください。
Thank you for waiting. Please come in. Okay, pardon me. I was nervous standing here, waiting to enter the girl's bedroom. I've been in this room before, but the situation is different now. Back then, Sakura was unconscious. Now she's inviting me in.
それで何かあったんですか、先輩。私少し眠っていたから物音とか聞いてなくて。
Did something happen? I was taking a nap, so I couldn't hear. Oh, nothing like that. I'm not here for any particular reason. I just came to see if you were getting enough rest. But I ended up interrupting her sleep.
それなら合格ですね。私ちゃんと休んでましたよ。
Well, I certainly was. I was taking a nice nap. Yeah, sorry for waking you up. You know your own body, and I'm sure you wouldn't force yourself to move around when you have the fever. Looks like I was being overprotective. I'm disappointed in myself. It makes Sakura giggle. Am I overanalyzing you?
いえ、そんなことありません。先輩は鋭いです。
No, you're not. You're perceptive.
本当はですね、お掃除の続きをしたかったんです。
I actually wanted to keep cleaning.
このまま先輩が来なかったらちょっと抜け出しちゃおうって思ってました。
If you hadn't come to my room, I probably would have snuck out. You would have snuck out?
はい。だってこんなに元気なのに寝込んでいたら病人みたいで嫌だったんです。だから先輩に言われてもいつも通りの私でいようって。
Yes, because I feel fine, so I don't want to stay in bed like a sick person. I was going to try and carry on as usual, even though you told me to rest.
けどそうしたら姉さんがふざけるなって怒るんです。
But I'm sure that will make my sister upset too.
無理をして倒れたら私たちに迷惑がかかるって。
She'd probably say that I would cause even more headaches for her if I collapsed again. It's true. After lunch I stopped Sakura from cleaning the house. But she wouldn't listen to me. I wasn't sure what to do until Tosaka stepped in. Still, she didn't exactly ask nicely. If you faint again, we have to kill you. It was an awfully aggressive way to make her back down. Yeah, Tosaka was mad.
はい。私姉さんに怒られちゃいました。
Yet, she sure got upset at me. Sakura seems happy about it. I see now. Despite her words, she's happy that Tosaka is worried about her. Make sure you get some rest, alright? Your body is under a lot of strain, no matter how you think you feel. If you rest, then Tosaka and I can rest easy when we head out.
そうですね。けど私は本当に元気なんですよ。今は調子が悪いだけで明日になれば元気になってるんです。ほら、この前の風邪と同じでこんなの一日食べば治っちゃうんですから。
Yeah, but I feel fine, really. I'm just a little off right now. I'll be okay tomorrow. It's like the cold I had before, so I get better overnight. Silly, I know. I interrupted you, Neb. But go lie back down. You should sleep while you can. Come wake you up for dinner, so take it easy until then. I turned to leave, but I feel Sakura tug on my shirt sleeve. Sakura?
先輩の言う通りちゃんと眠るんですけど。
I'll sleep like you said to.
その先輩がそばにいてくれるのは嬉しいです。
But I'd be happy if you stayed here with me. It's rare for Sakura to ask to be pampered. Usually tries to do everything on her own. Maybe she doesn't want to be a burden to other people. No, she's being a little selfish. No, something like this isn't selfish at all. But from her point of view, she's being very indulgent. That's why she looks so timid and as she asks me. I'm willing to do anything she asks, but something like that hardly counts as a favor at all. Sure, I stay a little longer. I agree, suppressing the urge to hug her.
やった。それじゃあお茶を入れてきますね、先輩。とっておきの中国茶をご馳走しちゃいます。
Hey, when I make some tea, I have some Chinese tea I was saving for special occasions. Sakura turns to the bedroom door. Wait, I brew the tea, you stay in bed. It would defeat the whole point of you if you went out there.
そうですね。なんかおかしいです、私。
You're right, that was silly of me. Sakura happily gets back into bed. As I walked out, I gave her a gentle pat on her head and went to make tea. Silver. This is more mentally exhausting than I expected. Sakura and I are alone.
けど、本当はですよ。本当は先輩が姉さんのことを好きなんだって気づいてたんです。だって先輩、姉さんの前だとすごく楽しそうにしてますから。
I mean it though. I've always known that you like my sister. You looked so excited whenever she's around. Nothing she's saying is entering my brain. If I look at her the wrong way, I won't be able to hold myself back. I'm a guy after all. When I think back to the other night, I immediately want to scoop her up in my arms.
そうですよね。姉さんに比べたら私なんて魅力ないし、先輩、イリアさんも好きみたいだし。
I'm not charming at all compared to her. It seems like you're fond of Ilya too.
その、先輩は物おじする子は嫌いなんでしょうか？
Do you dislike shy girls? I take a deep breath and steady myself. I shouldn't do anything too extreme while Sakura's in this state, though I suppose that would help her. So it isn't a bad thing. It isn't bad, but... Alright, Tosaka and Ilya are right next door. If you do anything here, they'll know. I'm not ready for a scornful way. Or the scornful way will look at me if the next time we are in the living room. Sakura, did I do something to make you upset? I pulled back to reality from my daydream when I realized that Sakura is oddly gloomy.
いいえ、先輩は何もしてません。何もしてないのが問題なんです。
No, you haven't done anything. That's the problem. Huh?
そのですね。私、際どいことを言ったんです。先輩、聞いてませんでしたけど。
Well, I was just talking about some delicate topics, but you weren't listening. Sorry, I was daydreaming. I think you mentioned Tosaka.
ええ、そうです。姉さんがここで寝泊まりするようになって嬉しいかって。
Yes, I did. I said that you looked happy when she decided to sleep over. Ah, right. I was listening to Sakura talk about our current living situation. What about it, though? You like Tosaka. Aren't you happy she's here?
嬉しいです。けど、それと同じくらい不安なんです。姉さんは私の理想で、私じゃ手に入らなかったものをいっぱい持ってます。だから近くにいると目を背けたくなって、素直には喜べない。
Yes, I am, but I'm just as anxious. Just as anxious too. Nissan is everything I aspired to be. And she has so much that I never did. So, when she's around me, it's hard to be happy and I don't want to look her in the eye.
姉さんにも自分にも何をしてるんだって責められてる気がしてしまって。
It feels like no matter what she or I do, it ends up with her scolding me. I think I understand. I still have a long way to go, too, if I were suddenly faced with my ideal self. The sight would be too painful to and blinding. But even if I can empathize... Sakura, you want to be like Tosaka? I ask her rarely. It's the kind of question that would spur Tosaka to knock me out in one punch, if she was here.
ずっと姉さんみたいになりたいって思ってました。あ、もちろん魔術師としてじゃなく女の子としてですよ。
Yes, I have always wanted to be like her. As a girl, I mean, not as a mage.
姉さんは何でもできていつも颯爽としてるじゃないですか。私も一度でいいからあんな風にかっこよくなりたいなって。
She can do anything, and she's always so gallant. I want to be as dashing as she is. Sakura talks about Tosaka cheerfully. I have mixed feeling about that, but I agree that Tosaka is pretty cool. In fact, I find the way she owns all of her words and actions to be very handsome. I see, but you haven't really talked to her until now because of that deal. The Matos and Tosaka's have. You sure know a lot about her despite that.
はい。だってどうしたって気になるじゃないですか。
Yeah, I mean, how could I contain my curiosity?
私も姉さんも子供の頃のことは覚えてないんです。
Neither of us remembers much about our childhood days together.
何しろずっと前だったから。
It was a long time
た
ago.
だ事実として私たちはもともと姉妹だったんだって知っていただけです。
All I really knew was the fact that we are biological sisters.
それで余計に気になって私たちはお互いを遠くからよく見てたんです。
But I fixated on it and watched her from afar.
話すことはできなかったけど1学年上の遠坂先輩の噂はよく聞こえてきましたし。
I couldn't talk to her, but I heard a lot of rumors about Tosaka senpai 1 year above me. Ah, you mean that stuff around her being a flawless honor student? She's pretty famous at school, now that you mention it.
はい。それに会えないということもありませんでした。
Yes, so it isn't that I couldn't meet her.
学校ではよく声をかけてもらえたし弓道部にも見学に来てくれましたから。
She calls out to me fairly often at school, and I've seen her come watch me watch the Kyoto Club too.
それでですね、そういう時にいつも思ってたんです。私は見てもらえるだけでいいって。気にかけてもらえるだけで幸せだし、それ以上望んだらきっと嫌われるって分かってましたから。
And every time I would think it's enough to know that she's watching me, and just knowing she cares makes me happy. I knew that if I had wished for anything beyond that, she'd end up hating me. Why would she despise you?
私の魔術は姉さんとは違いますから。魔術というのは基本的に用途を定められていないでしょ。
My magecraft is different from my sister's. Magecraft isn't generally limited to a specific purpose, right?
先輩の魔術だって何かを成し得るために何らかの現象を起こすものです。そこには初めから限定された目的はないと思います。
Even your magecraft creates a phenomena to serve various needs. I don't think it was created for a specific limited purpose. Yeah, there's only so much I can do, but I can choose how to use things I strengthen.
けど魔導の魔術は違います。魔導の技は初めから他人から奪うことに限定した魔術なんです。
That's not how Vamato's magecraft works. Martial arts are only useful for taking away from other people.
それ以外の用途なんて持たない。他人の痛みしか糧にせず、他人の喜びを還元する教えがない。
They don't have any other use. All they do is cause people pain without showing them how to be happy again. Can't answer that. After all, I don't know what kind of magecraft Vamato taught Sakura. Sakura's ashamed because she feels that she has learned magecraft for nefarious purposes. So a rift between Sakura and Tosoka stems from a magical difference between their families. The more Sakura despises the magecraft she was taught, the more her guilt consciousness gets. Do you dislike your magecraft, Sakura?
先輩、それは人間に呼吸をするのが嫌いなのかと聞いてるようなものです。
Senpai, that's like asking if a person dislikes breathing.
好きでも嫌いでもありません。ただ、そうしなければ生きていられなかっただけです。
I don't like or dislike it, but I can't live without it.
私は元からそのためだけにマトウの家に譲られた子供ですから。マトウの後継者になれなければ、そこで消えていたものなんです。
It's the entire reason I was adopted into the Mato household. If I had failed to become their successor, they would have gotten rid of me.
先輩、そんな顔しないでください。確かに教えは厳しかったけど、先輩が思っているほど辛いものではなかったんですから。
Oh, please don't look at me that way. My education was difficult, but it isn't as bad as you think it was.
それにですね、厳しさで言ったら先輩にはかないません。
Besides, it wasn't as hard as yours.
私、人に傷つけられるのは楽なんですけど、自分で自分を傷つけるのは怖いんです。
I can handle getting hurt by others, but I'm afraid of getting hurt myself.
生きたがりな私は、自分で幕を下ろすことができない。
I want to live, so I can't do things that go against that desire.
死んでしまうことは何ともないけど、自分で死のうと考えるのは怖いんです。
I've come to terms with the fact that I'll die eventually. But the thought of dying at my own hands is terrifying.
けど先輩はどっちもできちゃうんです。先輩が夜にどんな修練をしているか見ちゃったことがあるんです。
But you do both of those things. I've seen the kind of training you do at night.
一度だけですよ。忘れ物をして取りに来た時、土蔵の方で物音がして様子を見に行っちゃったんです。
I only looked once, okay? I came back to get something I forgot at the house when I heard something in the shed, so I went to look. Sakura dips her head apologetically, but her apology is just making me uneasy. Oh, you don't have to apologize, I was careless, and I should have realized you were there. I'm a failure of a mage for not paying more attention to my surroundings.
それが。
It was... When did that happen anyway? Was it right after you started coming over? I sure hope it was. I've made a fair bit of progress, even at a snail's pace, if it was at a snail's pace. If it happened recently, it still couldn't notice her presence, and it would mean that I haven't grown at all since my early days.
去年の夏頃の話です。藤村先生がスイカを持ってきてくれた日なんですけど。
It was around summer last year. Miss Fujimura brought watermelons home that day. Oh, good. I sigh in relief. If it was half a year ago, then that was an excuse I can make. So, what did you think when you saw it? It's the first time someone other than Kiritsuku saw me practice magecraft. I did a few examples in front of Tosoka the other day. It was a lot of different from my training in the shed. It is, in that sense, hearing Sakura opinions is Like having a teacher give me feedback after an exam. She's a martyr mage too, so maybe she'll give me a good score.
内容に関しては黙秘権を使わせてもらいます。姉さんじゃないけど点数をつけたら大変なことになっちゃいますから。
I'd like to exercise my right to silence. I'm not my sister, but if I were to assign you a test score, you wouldn't like it. Ugh, that bad, huh?
それなら真っ赤と言えるでしょうね。
There would be red marks all over your answer sheet. Oh man, sometimes you're more like your sister than you think, Sakura.
けど先輩、私本当にその時しか見てないんです。いえ、見てないんじゃなくて、怖くてもう見られなかった。
But senpai, that was the only time I saw you. Which is to say, it isn't that I wanted to stop watching you, but it scared me too so blandly that I couldn't bear to watch again. Huh? Which is too scared to watch?
はい。それだけじゃなくて、何度も止めなくちゃって思ってました。
Yes, and I wanted to stop you so many times.
先輩の鍛錬は普通じゃありません。私には先輩が自分で自分の喉を突き刺しているように見えました。そう錯覚したんじゃなくて、本当にそう見えてしまったんです。
The way you train is...
そんな風に見えてしまったくらい、先輩の鍛錬は危険なものでした。
The way you train isn't normal. It was like you were stabbing yourself in the throat. That isn't a metaphor, it is what it actually looked like. That's how dangerous your training seemed to me. I know what Sakura's trying to say. Every time I manifest my magical circuits, I flirt with death. If my focus slips by so much as a millimeter while I'm wrapping my consciousness around my innards, I could end up blasting them out of my body. But isn't that the price every mage has to pay? Our old man said that death would always walk at my side. Yeah, that's what I heard mages are supposed to do. But maybe I'm doing it in a really risky way because I'm too inexperienced.
それは違います。未熟とか半人前とかそういう話ではないんです。だいたいそんなことを言ったら資質がないのに魔術を使える先輩は別格です。
That's not what I meant. It isn't about your skill, level or experience. To begin with, the fact that you can use magecraft at all, even though it isn't in your nature, is what makes you different.
魔術というのは使うものではなく、体に覚えさせるものなんです。先輩のように毎回そのためだけに魔術回路を発現させるなんて普通の魔術師はしません。
Magecraft isn't something you use, but something you teach your body. No normal mage would manifest magic circuits every time they want to use magecraft.
私が言っているのは最終的な結果なんです。
I'm talking about the final outcome.
先輩は自分を殺すことを毎晩やっていました。誰に強制されるのでもなく、かといって自分のためでもないのにずっと一人きりで堅くなにそれを守ってきた。
Every night you've been killing yourself. Nobody is forcing you, and you aren't even doing it for your own sake. You just stubbornly stuck to that routine all by yourself.
それは姉さんにもできないことだと思います。
I don't think even my sister could bring herself to do that.
先輩はそれが善悪どちらであろうと一度決めたことを最後まで守り通す。だからきっと私たちの中で先輩が一番強い。
When you make up your mind, you stick to your decision until the very end, whether it's good or evil. That's why I think you're the strongest person among us. Wait. It's incredibly embarrassing to hear you say that with a straight face, Sakura. Flattery you get you nowhere, you stupid. Tosaka definitely stronger than me, and I don't know what kind of mage you are, but you're still the Mato heir, and you have Rider.
いいえ、先輩は強いです。それは魔術回路でも魔術特性でもなくて、心のあり方が純粋だから。
No, you're strong, senpai. Not because of your magic circuits or your magical infinity, but because you have a pure heart.
そんなこと出会った時から分かってたんですよ。
I've known that ever since we've met.
この人はきっと何も裏切らない人なんだなって。
I know that you'll never betray anyone or anything. When she says it that seriously, I can't protest. Thanks. Coming from you, that means a lot, even if it's just flattery. I say what I really feel, even though I'm embarrassed. Sakura smiles, looking right back into my eyes. She looks at me that way. It's going to bring back the fantasies I had finally managed to shake off earlier. Should I be getting back? You're sleepy, right? And there's still tonight, so you should rest while you can. I awkwardly clear my throat. I try to find a place to point my eyes and settle on the wall, separating the room from Tosaka's.
そうですね。夜もありますし、隣には姉さんがいるんだし。
Right, it's still early and Nissan's is next door. Tosaka blushes and looks around uneasy too, as if seeing what I'm thinking. I'm sure I'm making the same face. I go back to my room now, and I come to get you when it's dinner time.
待ってください、先輩。
Please wait. Wait, for what?
そのですね。寝つくまで部屋にいてくれたら嬉しいんですけど。
I would like you to stay here until I fall asleep. Find myself chuckling as she stutters while trying to ask for something. I wish I could ask her to do the same for me. Sure, I stay if it doesn't bother you. I'll leave once you're asleep, alright?
はい、もちろんです。私、頑張って起きてますから。
Okay, of course. I do my best to stay awake. Look, Sakura, I'm happy to hear you say that, but then there's no point in me staying here. Once Sakura lies down, she suddenly becomes quiet. She must be really tired, if she's passing out as soon as she lies down. But before that happens...
けど先輩、私は今日一日休めば治りますけど、先輩の腕はどうなんですか？
Senpai, I should feel better after resting a whole day. But how's your arm doing? She starts talking to me again. I guess she doesn't intend to sleep after all. My arm's fine. It doesn't hurt as long as I keep the wrap on. And I'm starting to be able to move it, little by little. Maybe I can start using it normally tomorrow.
よかった。ほら、姉さんが手当てをしてから随分経っているでしょ。あの時は応急処置みたいだったし、もう効き目はないんじゃないかって。
Thank goodness. It's been a long time since Nesan treated your arm, right? It was just an emergency measure, so it probably isn't working anymore. A long time?
姉さんも姉さんですよね。魔術刻印を利用するのはいいけど、あんなのはその場しのぎで7日も持たないって分かってるくせに。
You know how she is. It was nice of her to use her magic crest, but all she did was buy you time. She knows it won't even last 7 days. Sakura's tone is casual, but she said, 7 days? The words sound terribly out of place.
そうですよ。そろそろ切れちゃう頃だから、ちゃんとした手当てをしないと。私の魔術じゃこ
根本的な解決はできないから、
Yeah, it's...
ライダーにいいアイディアがないか聞いてみますね。
Yeah, it's probably about to run out, so make sure you ask her to follow up. I can't help you with Amato magecraft, but Ryder might have some good ideas. She stares to doze off as she talks. I can't think of anything to say. All I can do is convince myself that she made a mistake because she's falling asleep.
先輩、そこにいますよね。
Are you still there, Senpai? Yeah, I'm here.
よかった。そばにいてください。先輩、
Good. Please stay with me.
一人になると怖い夢ばっかり見るから、ちゃんと私を。
I have scary dreams when I'm alone, so please. Sakura's eyes slowly close. I hear her breathing become slow and steady once she falls into a deep sleep. I turn off the lights and quietly leave the bedroom. Dark stormy clouds fill my heart, in contrast to her tranquil expression.
ちゃんと私を。
Please keep an eye on me.
ください。
Just as she's about to fall asleep, I can't help but feel that she said that unconsciously. An interlude.
Sakura, 入るぞ。
I'm coming in, Sakura. He opens the door without waiting for a reply. He's never waited for his little sister to answer before opening the
な
door.
んだ。まだ帰ってきてないのか。本当に困ったもんだな、あいつ。
What? She still isn't back yet? What am I going to do with her? He clicks his tongue and steps into the room. Shinji Mato paces around his sister's room like a blind dog, running his nails along the walls.
さくら、今日も地下か。ああ、僕を差し置いて、また下で何かやっているんだろう。
Sakura, are you in the basement today too? What are you doing down there without me? Nobody answers his repeated questions. There's no one else in the room. Sister hasn't been back home for the last few days. Shinji keeps pacing around the room, even though he knows full well that resident isn't here.
いつも通り。まったく、本当にいつも通りじゃないか。
You're always like that. You're surely always like that. He picks up a clock and throws it. The sound of a glass breaking irritates him more than he expected.
どこ行ってんだよ。兄貴に内緒でさ。
Where did she go? Keeping secrets from my big brother. He keeps throwing things as if spitting out his anger. That's how this always goes. It's how he compensated on a regular basis for the last few years. If the greatest act of resistance he can do is forgive himself and his sister, ever since learning the truth 3 years ago. When he was born, the Mato bloodline had already outlived its purpose. The noble line lost its power and the Matos were reduced to ordinary people. Their only special assets were their knowledge. The once great line of arcane scholars met its obscure end in the Orient. He was told those facts even as a child. He was taught the Matos were special, a clan entrusted with miracles. Where? There were no Matos left who could use magecraft, and they would have to live in society as normal people from now on. But he didn't think so. It's true that without magic circuits or whatever they were called, he couldn't perform magecraft on his own. He knew that the mages died with his father's generation, and that he wasn't qualified to inherit the Mato's name. The Mato still had records of their miracles. Only their bloodline was over. They still had their wealth of knowledge. To the boy, that was enough to make him special. He was like the other people. He wasn't like other people. The Martyrs were chosen people. Their worth hadn't diminished just because they lost magical power and stopped being mages. He was proud to be part of that special family and would live an exceptional life. He might be lacking as a mage, but he was born into a chosen family, that was for sure. One day, a new child came into their fold. His father said the girl had no next kin, so they would be adopting her. It was more than 10 years ago. From that day forward, the girl named Sakura became his little sister. At first, he didn't like her. He didn't want some foreign element to come into their special family. But as the days passed, he began to approve of her. Sakura was quiet, plain, and a little better than a guard dog. Trying to be hostile towards her was a waste of time, so he began to dote on her stupidity to an extent. He buried himself in books, learned arcane arts that he couldn't perform, and thought of himself as a Mato heir. Only he was allowed into the Mato library. His sister was adopted, and she would never be chosen as their heir, and she had no right to look at those books. Surely, she would live the rest of her life as a normal person, unaware of her Mato's remaining precious knowledge. That notion satisfied his arrogance. Each mage's family only has one successor. He knew that, so he never had any doubts that his sister would be cast off and raised separately. Only one of them could learn magecraft, so it was natural that he didn't see her around much. That's right. In fact, he pitied her. They lived in the same house and had the same parents, and yet only he was considered special. He felt sorry for his sister who wasn't chosen. His haughty attitude was the compassion of one who was superior, and of course a source of his self-esteem as a reliable big brother. So, the brother pitied his sister and treated her with affection. His sister never looked him in the eye. He figured she felt ashamed of herself, and so he doted on his helpless little sister, until the day he learned the truth. It was only the only sound he could make when he happened to upon that room. A room he never knew about. Wisdom that was never imparted to him. Talents he was never born with. All that was here. And she was in the middle of the room. Surrounded by black squirming things and their scary grandfather. His father glanced at him with a look of scorn he'd never seen before, as if he was an intruder. It was over. Everything he had ever believed, that he'd constructed in his head, was turned upside down. He wasn't the special one. His sister wasn't being kept away. She wasn't the one to feel sorry for. He wasn't the one looking down at her out of pity. His life was transformed. Now that his father didn't need to hide it anymore. He began to interact only with her little sister. His little sister still wouldn't say anything. She kept staring at the floor like always. With that same attitude that seemed like she wanted to escape his gaze, she said, "I'm sorry, big brother." She said it with the same sympathy that he once directed at her. He laughed. He guffed like there was no tomorrow. It was so hilarious he wanted to break everything. The girl he thought as a plaything was the real master. But he was a clown all along. Was he the crazy one? Or her? Probably both. His life shattered, he went back to the house and realized something. It wasn't as if the world suddenly got turned around. This environment was always this way. The only one who had it backward, who misunderstood, was himself. He realized how wretched he was. He had it all wrong from the beginning. The next 3 years were nothing but pain for him. His father died, and his grandfather only paid attention to his sister. Shinji Mato was no different from the heir inside the mansion. He was treated like it didn't matter whether he was there or not, and in fact that's all he was worth. And she sympathized with him. She said sorry. She didn't necessarily say it out loud, but she apologized every time they saw each other. She apologized for taking Shinji Mato's place.
何を謝っているんだよ。
What are you apologizing for? She should have just ignored him. Then he would have lost his dignity, and he wouldn't feel any hope. Sakura would apologize, but only made him feel like there was no outlet for everything he was feeling.
僕はお前の優しい兄なんだ。
I'm your kind big brother.
他の誰よりも頼れる。ただ一人の兄なんだぞ。
Your one and only brother, you can count on more than anyone else. In light of his humiliation, surely there was nothing wrong with him treating her this way.
なんだあいつ。まだエミヤのところに嫌がるのか。
Is she still at Emir's place?
お前はマトウの後継者だぞ。マトウの後継者だぞ。尊きマトウの後継者なんだぞ。
You're the Mato heir. Our heir. A great successor to the Mato line. The room shows no sign of being lived in. That went without saying. To Sakura Mato, her only bedroom was the underground nest. This room was just for appearances. She wouldn't care no matter how much he messed up the room or how many times things broke. It won't change the fact that her name is the one on the door.
ああ、それなのに謝るんだよな、お前は。ごめんなさい、ごめんなさいってさ。じゃあさ、すまないと思うんなら、僕の言うことだけを素直に聞けよ。罪の意識？そんなもの知ったことか。マトウ家の人間って自覚があるなら、兄の言うことを聞くのは妹として当然のことだろう。
And you're still gonna apologize to me. It's always sorry with you. If you're really sorry, then you do what I tell you. You feel guilty? I don't care. If you think of yourself as a martyr at all, then you should be a good little sister and do what your brother says. He tears off the bedsheets. She belonged to him. She never defied him, never fought for herself. She just lived here. So why did she leave him now?
お前が取ったんだぞ、エミヤ。
You took her from me, Emiya. That was a miscalculation on his part. He knew that she was attracted to Shiro Emiya. Before they met, she never had any interest, but she started to think like a human being once she met Shiro Emiya. Then she gradually recovered her personality until she left Shinji. After all the trouble he went through to act like a nice older brother, how could she go with that strange Shiro Emiya and not him?
だから言ったんだ。 あいつの家にやるのは良くないって。なのにあのジジイ、エミヤは監視しなくてはならんとかふざけたこと言いやがって。
I told him so. I said she shouldn't go to his house. But Red Geezer said some crap about keeping an eye on the Emias. Their grandfather never made any effort to bring Sakura home after giving the order. He just said to let her be, and even warned Shinji to restrain himself.
見ていろ。必ず償わせてやるぞエミヤ。お前はサクラの見ている前で引き裂いてやる。
Just you watch. I pay you back for this, Emiya. I rip you apart while Sakura watches. That's right. If Sakura is going to leave him, then he just force her back into their old relationship. If she was going to leave the Mato family for him.
ああ、昔みたいにさ、また昔みたいになればいいだけじゃないか。
Then we can just go back to the being the way we used to be. He cackles, his reflection in the cloudy windows as ghastly as a skull. Ooh. A little more characterization for Shinji that wasn't in the movie adaptation. It's evening now. Tosaka seems busy and Sakura is asleep, so I make dinner. My left arm can move. Aptly slow, so it shouldn't stop me from cooking simple meals. I can deep fry the marlin and make beef stew with the rest. I check what we have in the refrigerator and decide it's on tonight's menu. With 2 new mouths to feed, our ingredients go quickly. I have to make some time tomorrow to go downtown for groceries. Everyone seems excited to see the vet's dinner ready and waiting for them in the living room. I wonder where Ryder is, but she likely has her reasons for being absent. Ryder's priority is to protect Sakura. Maybe she doesn't want to have too much contact with Tosaka, who could become an enemy. I hope Ryder comes down here to eat later. If she doesn't come over, I pack a meal and bring it to her later. She doesn't seem to be to like being around other people, so she's probably in the shed of the dojo.
へえ、シロってこういうのが得意なんだ。さくらは洋食で、シロは和食派ってこと？
Huh? So this is what you're good at making. Does Sakura specialize in Western food, and you do in Japanese? Tosaka looks at me with surprise as she munches on the fried fish. I fried the marlin fillets gold brown and made an elegant soy sauce. Marinade that brings out the fragrance of ginger. Tosaka seems fond of it.
私はこっちのが好きよ。シロがお料理上手で嬉しいわ。
I like this one. I love that you are so good at cooking, Shiro. Next to her, Elia is enjoying a mouthful of savory sweet beef stew. It's too bad that I didn't have any potatoes on hand, but I'm glad that she likes it. But Sakura is holding her chopsticks, looking confused. Sakura, what's wrong? You don't have an appetite?
あ、食欲はあるんですけど、先輩。
I do, but, senpai.
この肉じゃが、お砂糖入ってませんよ。味付けが変です。
Did you put sugar in the stew? It tastes strange. Huh? Did I really make such a rookie mistake with beef stew? Of all things? Crap, hang on. I taste the beef stew from a pot in the middle of a table. It's odd. This is how I always seasoning it. Sakura, what's strange about it?
これ、お砂糖と塩が逆になってませんか？
Did you maybe mix up sugar and salt?
甘みが全くないんですけど。
I can't taste the sweetness at all.
そう肉じゃがってこういう味でしょ。そりゃ隠し味らしきものが入ってるから他のとは違うけど、ちょっと真似できない味よこれ。
Really? Isn't it supposed to taste like this? Unless there's some secret ingredient that makes this one different from the rest. I don't think this, I couldn't make it as good as this.
私は初めてだからわからないけど、美味しいよ。ちょうどいい甘さで食べやすいし。
I don't know what it's supposed to taste like, but it's yummy. It's just sweet enough and easy to eat. Sakura pokes at her beef stew with a puzzled expression. She takes one bite, and a second, then a third. Sakura?
なんか味付けの薄いところを選んじゃったみたいです。変なこと言ってごめんなさい。先輩のご飯は今日も美味しいです。
Oh, I think I just ate a part that wasn't seasoned as evenly. Sorry for being weird. Your cooking tastes good, senpai. She laughs and resumes eating. Sakura moves her chopsticks as if nothing happened. I got a little nervous when she started looking off, but then she's regained her spirits. With gusto, she even asked for a third helping. Tosaka watched in surprise as Sakura kept eating with delight until we completely finished all of her food and rice. It's after 10 p.m. now.
時間ね。そろそろ行くわよ、シロ。
It's time. We should go, Shiro. Tosaka appears, ready to leave. I know. Take care of our house, Sakura. Tosaka and I will go out on patrol as planned. It sounds stupid to think that we can fight back against Zoken by patrolling the town. That's all we can do at the moment. The enemy we have to beat are Zoken's assassins, Saber and that mysterious shadow. To be honest, there's no way we can beat them in a straight fight. I just have to be patient while Tosaka comes up with countermeasures. Despite that, we can't stay cooped up in the house. As the news said this morning, Zoken has started attacking civilians. We might not be able to beat him now, but I don't think it's a waste to try and prevent more people from falling victim. I put on my shoes without saying anything. Both of us know how dangerous it is to go out at night. Even if Zoken is only after Sakura, he might consider it a nuisance if we are walking around town. In the worst case, what happened in the forest might happen again. The thought doesn't make me very talkative.
ちょっと、どういうつもりよ、あなた。
Hey, what's your problem? And then, I'm not in the mood even for a serious talk, but I look up to see Tosaka staring at
見
me.
送りなら結構よ。おとなしく部屋に戻っていなさい、さくら。
If you're just seeing us off, that's fine. Behave and go back to your room, Sakura. Staring through me, to be exact. She's glaring at Sakura, who's standing in the hallway.
姉さん、やっぱり私も一緒に行きます。姉さんと先輩だけじゃ夜で歩くのは危険だから。
Nathan, I think I should go with you. After all, it's too dangerous out there for the two of you alone. Sakura. So that's why she's here. I appreciate your sentiment, but we have to stick to the plan. No, you know that Zoken is after you. You need to stay here with Ilya and protect yourselves.
それは分かっています。けど、先輩は片手が動かないし、姉さんだってもうサーバントがいないし。
I know that, but you can't move one of your arms, and Nathan doesn't have a servant anymore, so...
ふざけないで、さくら。あなたが私たちの敵であることは変わらないのよ。そんな、いつ造剣の手駒になるかわからない奴に、背中なんて預けられない。
It's the crap, Sakura. You're still our enemy. I can't trust someone that might turn into Zoken's puppet in any second to watch my back.
けど、姉さん。
But Nathan...
あなたはあなただけ守っていればいいのよ。 私たちに少しでもすまないって思うんなら、こんなことで手を煩わせないでちょうだい。あなたはライダーに自分とイリアを守らせておくだけでいいんだから。
You just need to protect yourself. If you feel bad for us at all, then don't create more work for us by putting something like this. You just need to have Ryder protect yourself and Ilya. Osaka, you don't have to. Hey!
ほら、ぼーっとしてないで行くわよ。こんなことをしている間にも犠牲者が出てるかもしれないんだから。
Come on, get your head in the game. There might be new victims while we stand around talking. Tosaka grabs my hand and pulls me out of her house. Anyway, be careful, Sakura. Take care of Ilya. Hey, Tosaka, hold on. I'm coming with you, so let go of my hand.
ぐずぐずしてるそっちが悪いんでしょ。
It's your fault for taking your sweet time. Tosaka releases my hand and stops power walking.
何よその顔。言いたいことがあるならはっきり言ったら。
What? If you have something to say, say it. She's being like this now. All rushed and weirdly belligerent. Good grief. If you're that self-conscious about it, then you didn't need to use that tone with her, idiot. Fine, I'll say it. Don't be so hot on Sakura. She didn't ask to be in this situation.
わかってるわよ。けど、だからこそはっきり言わないといけないでしょ。半端な態度を取ったら、それこそ造形につけ込まれるだけでしょ。
I know that, but I had to be firm with her. If she doesn't commit to this, it will make her easier for Zoken to exploit.
私はさくらに同情していない。
I'm not sympathizing with Sakura.
だって、造形の操り人形とか、マトウに引き取られたこととか、そんなの私には関わりのないことだもの。あの子自身の問題に、私が口を出してもしょうがないしね。
I had nothing to do with her being Zoken's puppet or being adopted by the Matos. That's her own problem, and I can't fix it, any of that, just by talking about it. Tosaka.
いい？私があの家にいるのは、さくらじゃなくてあなたがいるからよ。
I'm only at that house because of you, not Sakura. Got that?
私の目的は聖杯であって、さくらを助けることじゃない。
My goal is to get the Holy Grail, not save her.
そのためにはさくらを監視するし、嫌われたって構わない。だからさっきみたいなことも言うし、これからもさくらを敵として扱うんだから。
To do that, I need to keep an eye on Sakura, even if she hates me for it. That's why I talk to her that way, and I'm going to keep treating her as my enemy. So you don't care if she hates you because you're total strangers?
そうよ。それに文句があるの、あなたは。
That's right. You got a problem with that? Of course I do, stupid. That's so like Tosaka. She's normally so bold and not decisive, but right now I can see her clenching her fists as if and trying her best to convince herself. Alright, if that's how you want to play this, then go ahead. No matter how you decide to act, Sakura knows how you really feel.
伝わるってどういうことよ。
What do you mean, how I really feel? How much you care about her, I mean. If even an outsider like me can notice it, then Sakura sees right through you.
誤解よ。私はただ、その。
You don't understand, I'm just, I do understand. People don't feel sincere anger for someone they don't care about. That's why you're stern with her, right? You don't say it out loud, but you think of her as your precious little sister.
何言ってんのよバカ。やめてよね、そういう歯の浮くこと言うの。
You don't know what you're talking about. Stop pushing my buttons like that, you dummy. Tosaka is so angry she becomes red in the face. But it doesn't have its usual impact, which tells me enough. What? Am I bugging you?
迷惑よ。当たり前でしょ、そんなの。
Obviously. Okay then, let me bug you with this. I want you and Sakura to get along. Sakura likes you and you like her too. So I don't like seeing the two of you act the way you did earlier.
あのね、私はさくらを敵として見てるのよ。仲良くなっても仕方ないし、それに第一、今さらどうやって仲良くなれって言うのよ、あんたは。
You know, I did say that she's my enemy. That won't change just because I am nice to her. To begin with, how are we supposed to be friends after all this time? Just keep doing what you've been doing. Have some faith in yourself, Tosaka. I think you're being a good big sister.
無駄話はここまでよ。とりあえず、今朝のニュースでやってた現場に行くんだから。
We're wasting time. Let's go to the crime scene we saw on the news. Tosaka spins on her heels and storms off. I follow her with an absent-minded sure. But then,
シロ、
she says my name without looking at me.
ありがとう。今の、なんか嬉しかった。
Thanks. That made me happy. And grumbles, embarrassed. There's no one at the Central Park. It isn't particularly crowded even during the day, and now it's extra quiet after last night's murders. The park wasn't built as a place to rest between the office buildings. It's no different from an undeveloped wasteland.
殺人事件か。世間じゃ事件じゃなく事故って扱いみたいだけどね。まあ、確かに誰が死んで体のどこがなくなったのかいまいちわからないんじゃ。殺人って呼び方も怪しいか。
Murders, huh? They aren't treating it as an accident. Well, it's hard to tell because we don't know exactly who died or where the bodies are. But it's suspicious that they are calling them murders. There are still bloodstains on the grass. Quite a lot of blood spilled in 4 separate areas. There's some distance from the blackened ground, probably because the victims tried to run away. Osaka, you said that Zoken didn't do this, but what do you think now? Has your impression changed now that we're here?
そうね。あの黒い影の仕業かと思ったけど、ちょっと違うみたい。
Let me think. I thought the shadow did this, but now I'm not sure.
あいつが出ると、辺りのマナーを軒並み飲み込んでいくでしょ。けど、ここ一帯の魔力は枯渇していない。まあ、ここで起きたことが予定外の食事だろうって見方は変わらないわ。
Whenever it shows up, it sucks all the mana around it. But this place isn't dry of mana. I still think that whatever happened here was an unplanned meal though. That's all we managed to learn from the scene. We leave aside of the tragedy. We don't find anything else of note in Shinto. Even how conspicuous last night incident was. It's possible that Zorkan's group is trying to keep a low profile tonight. It's almost midnight. Tosaka and I head home, feeling a cold breeze from the riverbank. I ask her a question on the way. Tosaka, Sakura is the successor of Yamato, right? I've been curious about something for a while.
何よ今さら。もう隠し事なんてないわよ。
Why are you asking now? It's not a secret anymore. No, I mean, she's their successor. That means she's a mage. I was wondering what kind of magecraft she uses.
ああ、そういうこと。
Oh, that.
そうね。魔党の魔術は戒めとか強制とかそういうものだって聞くけど、レイジュだって魔党がいなかったらできなかったっていうし。
Well, I've heard that the Martyrs use magecraft related to binding and compulsion. The command spells wouldn't exist without them. Huh? So does Sakura magecraft have something to do with restraints? What that would mean? That day, the magecraft that Sakura unleashed when the crestworms were attacking her must have been Rider's power.
制約ではないと思う。それはマキリの禁呪であって得意とする魔術じゃないもの。
I don't think so. It was a Mercury spell. but not the kind of magecraft they specialize in.
まあ考えたところで意味ないわよ。さくらには魔術を使うだけの魔力がないもの。そんな余分な力真っ先に刻印中に食べられるんだから、魔術は組み立てられないはずよ。
There's no point in thinking about it anyway. Sakura doesn't have the magic energy to power magecraft. The crest worms eat her extra energy, so she shouldn't be able to cast any magecraft. Okay, good. But how strong is she, from your perspective? Are you on the same level, since you're both family heirs?
魔術回路の数で言うなら、私と同じぐらいよ。
She's about the same number of magic circuits as me.
シロ、私たちが姉妹ってこと忘れたの？
Did you forget that we are actual sisters? Oh, right, now that she mentions it. That's why the Matos adopted her to begin with. So she's as strong as you are.
どうかしらね。私が五大元素で、さくらは架空元素だったらしいわ。けど、マトウは水属性だから、無理やりそっちに変えられたのよ。鳥としてなら大空を飛べたものを、無理やり海中に入れたらどうなると思う？
I'm not sure. I can use the 5 great elements, while she was apparently born with an affinity of imaginary elements. But she's water-aligned now, so they must have forced that onto her. What do you think would happen if you force a bird that flies in the air to swim in the ocean? It would die, or...
そう。海中に適応する体を得るだけで精一杯よ。
Yeah, it would take everything just to adapt to being underwater.
遠坂でなら大成しただろうけど、無理やりマトウにさせられた桜はシロと変わらないわ。
She would have been successful as a Tosaka, but after what the Matos did to her, she's no different from you.
うん。体を鍛えてある分、あなたの方が何倍も強いでしょうね。
No, you're actually a lot stronger than her because you're physically trained. So, hypothetically, if you too get into a magical duel...
10回中10回、私の勝ち。桜の魔力量じゃ、私の防壁を突破できない。
It would mean 10 times out of 10. I would win 10 out of 10. Sakura doesn't have the magic energy capacity to pierce my defensive. I see. I don't know what kind of magecraft Sakura can use, but her power dynamic with Tosaka is clear. Tosaka isn't the type to brag, so she's probably just stating the facts. This is embarrassing. I never even knew that Sakura was a mage, and I don't know how skilled she is. I feel pretty stupid calling myself her projector.
あのね、桜は体内の魔力を刻印中に食べられちゃうんだから、そばにいても魔術師だってわからないわよ。
You know, the crystworms are constantly feeding on her magic energy. You can't even tell if she's a mage up close.
それに、あの子はあなたにだけはバレないようにって頑張ってきたのよ。だからそんなこと、間違っても本人の前で口にしないでよね。
Plus, she's been trying her best to hide it from you. So whatever you do, don't bring this up in front of her. Yeah, don't need to tell me twice. Even if Sakura is a mage, she's still Sakura. I'm not sophisticated enough to play games with her anyway. No matter who she is, all I can do is treat her the same way I always have. Yeah, if you think so, then I'll keep treating her the same way. I just won't ask for her help as a mage. That's okay, right?
もちろんよ。あなたが桜に頼ろうなんて言い出したら、その時は桜は私の家に連れ戻してたところ。
Of course. And if you ever do, I'll take her back to my house instead. The way she says it so gently with a smile makes my heart skip a beat. See? You're a great big sister, Tosaka.
けど、それも無理かな。桜、あなたの家だと笑うんだもの。昨日から何が驚いたかって、それが一番驚いたわ。
I guess that wouldn't work, though. She only smiles when she's at your place. That was what surprised me the most yesterday. It was a surprise. The thought seems make Tosaka so happy. What do you mean, she smiled? That's how she always is.
ええ、私の取り越し苦労だったけどね。
Yeah, I always worried about that.
そのさ、私はさくらとはあんまり話せないから、その代わりに暇さえあれば見てたのよ。あの子が私と同じ学園に入ってからは毎日のように弓道部に入り浸ってたし。
You know, I don't talk to her much, so I try to look out for her whenever I can. She's been hanging around the Kyoto Club ever since we ended up in the same school. Yeah, I know that.
うん。それでね、しばらく経ってから気がついたのよ。あの子、一度も笑ってないって。
And after a while, I noticed something. She never smiles. That sounds pretty believable, even though I'm only hearing it for the first time. Now that I think about it, Sakura is always pretty gloomy at school.
まあ、それもあなたがいる時だけは別だったけど。
But even that's different when you're around.
たまにシロウが弓道部に来た時はさくらだって笑ってた。
She would always smile when you came to visit the club.
要するにさくらが元気な時はエミやシロウが目の前にいる時だけなのよ。
Meaning that she's only ever happy when Shiro Emiya is with her. Tosaka is saying something that should make me happy. But somehow, Sakura doesn't smile in front of other people? I feel like I just learned a terrible truth about her. It's past 1 in the morning by the time I'm back in my bedroom. I plopped down on my futon. The night's patrol was fruitless. All we learned was the story of on the morning news was true. The enemy I have to defeat. To be honest, when I think about that thing I have to fight eventually, it gives me chills and makes me want to vomit. Zork and an assassin are opponents that humans can still fight, but the other two aren't. I'm not even sure if a shadow can die. As for Saber, I don't have a chance in hell of beating her. But now that innocent people are dying, it doesn't matter whether I can win or not. Acha's arm, huh? I touch a red cloth around my left arm. I do have a weapon. I don't know how well it works. But it's still a weapon. The question is whether I can master it, and whether I'll be able to survive using it. Just a little should be okay, right? I unwrap the red cloth. My blood starts to flow as soon as I loosen the binding. Suddenly, I feel like I hear a beast howling. Something stabs me. It's stabbing me throughout my body. Is this pain? If it is, then no pain I've ever felt before counts as pain anymore. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. The uneven tatami, my bed's softness hurts me. Feel like I'm sitting on a hill of swords. The air is so toxic and I die 3 times from breathing it. A bird chirps in the distance. The wind is strong. There's no humidity. My skin dries out and turns to sand. It flows and slows away. Crumble away. Hot steak stabs me through the exposed soles. 32 of them. Through my shoulder. Each of them meticulously, excellently, precisely skewers my internal jugular vein. Trachea, spinal cord, sympathetic nerves. Lateral, upper, middle, and lower lobes. Aorta, heart, diaphragm, spleen, stomach, liver, and all 8 sections of my large intestine. I'm crumbling. Time slows at a frightening pace. I watch 60 trillion cells crumble at a rate of 340 per second. There is no pain. There's no pain. There's no pain. There's only terror. The credits roll, invading with astonishing speed. The flashback stops on a medical image. The death to come, the death in the past, the death happening now. Pain isn't physical pain, but a burst of rejection each time death strikes me. I hear a noise. I'm on my knees. It's the sound of my head hitting the floor. My eyes are hot. I realize I've been crying. I desperately stop a scream from escaping my throat. I curl up in a ball, tuck my head into my stomach, and clutch my left arm with my right hand, weeping. I'm scared. I haven't felt this since the fire 10 years ago. I'm scared. It's the dread that every living creature feels. I'm scared. For the first time in my life, I want to escape my own doom. I don't reject death because it hurts, nor because I want to live. It just scares me. I tie the red cloth back on, knot it over and over so that it'll never come loose again. I just can't. I was sobbing. The priest said if I die if I'd use my left arm. That's bullshit. I die if I even take off the shroud. My body might be able to take it, but my mind will go first. Even slightly losing it and exposing the skin to the air was enough of a mental ordeal. If I couldn't even endure that, then I can't possibly live without the shroud. No, if this arm is a contradictory thing that no one should touch, then it's too late. My body is already a train on the abandoned and commanded railroad track, running to its final stop. A ship with a crack in its hull, sinking into the ocean depths with no one to save it. Only the passengers are unaware, and by the time they notice, it's already too late. My breathing is ragged. I was having a bad dream. I wiped sweat from my forehead. I can't even stand up. I just stay curled up, bearing the pain. I don't understand in my head. I don't understand. I can't remember. My left arm hurts. It hurts so bad I wish I didn't have a left arm. I try to remember why it hurt so much, but I can't remember how it was feeling just a second ago. The pain recedes. I managed to bundle up my disjointed mind. It must have been because I was sleeping. My scattered memories feel like chopped up onions that should cook nicely if I organized them. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. See? Add a drizzle of soy sauce for color. Some pepper for flavor, and a pinch of potato starch to bring the mess all together. Oh, that sounds gross. Mumble absently. I use this head that only knows how to help other people so much it's a nuisance, comes up with one conclusion. I don't have to eat something that doesn't look tasty. I lost it already. It doesn't make sense to rely on something that isn't there. Therefore, Shiro Emir has no weapon. He has to suppress this alien thing as long as he lives. And it'll taint him for the rest of his life. It's futile to restrain it with this cloth. There's only one way to truly escape this poison. Just cut it off. I know that, but I can't bear it to let it go. The mother of a gun points at my temple. I imagine its trigger. The left arm is the trigger. Once I pull it, I'll operate as designed and blow my brains out. Trembling. In the dim light, I hold my breath. I hold my left arm tight again and fall back down. Just cut it off. I close my eyes. I stifle my pathetic moans. It's time to sleep so I can be rested tomorrow. I hear small noises. I wake up to the sound of footsteps in a wooden hallway. I wake up my hazy mind. It isn't quite 2 a.m. Less than 30 minutes have passed since I went to bed. I squirm out of my futon, unconsciously holding my left arm. Sakura? She's outside of my room. I call out to the source of the noise outside of my door. I didn't sense her outside. I just had a feeling that she was there. The door slides open. Sakura dreamily steps into my room. She stares at the ground, biting her lip in shame, unsure what to say.
ごめんなさい先輩。私
Sorry, senpai, I still... She apologizes to me, as if blaming herself. But I should be the one apologizing. I know full well why she's here. It's the pain of her body panting in first. I should have gone straight to you as soon as I got back. Sorry for making you suffer. I stand up. Even if I apologize, I can't be forgiven for getting so wrapped up in my left arm that I forgot about Sakura's condition.
先輩。
Huh? I know. If you're ready, we can start right away. Sakura nods, blushing. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, but maybe Sakura sees the act of drinking blood as something immoral.
でも
But... She looks down with a troubled expression. Oh, right. Can't get anything done this way. She bites my finger before. But we can't share my blood a smarter way than this. Hold on, I think it's in my desk. I stand up and go to the desk. Suddenly my left arm moves.
先輩大丈夫ですか？
Senpai, are you okay? It's nothing, I just got a little dizzy when I stood up. Damn, I'm pathetic. As soon as I used my left arm, I remembered my earlier pain. It doesn't hurt as long as I keep the glove on. So what am I afraid of? And here it is. With my right hand, I rummage around the desk drawer and pull out a box cutter. I extend the blade and make sure it isn't chipped or dull. If Sakura isn't going to bite me, then I need to draw blood myself. This would be easier if I had a syringe or some tubing, but unfortunately I don't. So the fastest way to draw blood would be to cut myself.
足
Wait, are you? My right hand holds a box cutter. My left hand is wrapped in the glove surrounding my left arm. I'm doing something foolish. If I'm holding the cutter in the right hand, that means I'd have to cut my left. But if it hurt that much after just losing the glove, cutting it is clearly out of the question. Still, my left hand isn't dexterous enough to make short, precise movements or holding anything thin. I consider what to do next. I hear the echoes of a howl. It tells me that it still isn't too late. But this arm is too heavy, a burden to bear. Think, remember how much you suffered just from losing the glove. It isn't too late, you have a blade. It's going to keep invading your body for the rest of your life, and it'll be a constant struggle to keep it in check. You have to live with it, never knowing when the bomb you're carrying might go off. So, you might as well take that knife and cut off with the timer, at least. Freeze, still holding the box cutter. I told myself I wouldn't have any more doubts, but they're all resurrected as soon as I pick up this blade. My heart beats, a cold and mechanical rhythm, and my eyes lose focus.
あの先輩
Senpai? Her voice breaks me out of her chains. Put down the knife and take a deep breath. Sorry, I was just thinking it doesn't matter now, so don't worry about it.
そうなんですか。でも先輩顔色が
Okay, but you look pale. It's just an upset stomach. No big deal compared to what you're dealing with. Hang on, I can make a small wound like this. I slightly move the box cutter. The pain is just a slight pinch, not a big deal. Oh, then that should work. Blood leaks out brighter than I expected. Now Sakura can. I drop a box cutter. Sakura stares at my wound, at the red liquid tickling down my arm. She's wearing a slack expression. It's like was never scared to begin with. Her eyes look like she's in a trance. Her lips are half parted and her pale throat gulps with desire. She gets on all fours and crawls over my futon toward me. She reminds me of a graceful, four-legged beast. Sakura. I don't know how to react to this sudden change. I just extend my arm, blood dripping from its wrist, to Sakura. A drop of blood falls from my fingertip. It falls onto her soft, wet lips. Her tongue flicks out, lapping up each drop. Spellbound, Sakura licks my finger. I feel the smooth texture of her tongue on my finger. I don't even notice the pain. It's happening again. That irresistible feeling is coming.
おいしい先輩
Tastes good, senpai. Sakura looks beautiful and bewitching as she licks my arm. A scent enters my mind and arouses me. Any fear she showed earlier is long gone. It's like she's licking honey. Her lips draw closer to the cut. They cover the wound, which had been leaking blood. I'm struck by an irresistible pleasure. My shoulders go so limp, I think my arms might fall off. It's an enchanting sweetness, unlike when she was only licking me. I grit my teeth, keeping my voice down. My blood is taken, and pleasure flows into its place. The pain of a wound is hazy, and I can barely even register what's happening to my right arm. Sakura sucks on my arm, draining it dry. I know she's just doing it to recover her magical energy, but it's so sweet. Even her murmuring voice resonates with my nerves. As that the ecstasy of having my blood sucked reaches my shoulder, and the discomfort and fear of my left arm is drowned out by the pleasure in my right. Sakura. Before I know it, I'm embracing her. I use my arm that Sakura's sucking on to pull her in and hold her against my chest. Sakura continues slacking her first, savoring my blood. More than her soft. My senpai. More than her soft body, I'm drunk on the touch of her lips on my arm, on the honeyed pleasure of being drained. An indescribable impulse rises in my chest. I want to hug Sakura until she breaks. She sucks it all up, Sensation of having not just my blood, but my vitality sucked away as well. In my pleasure, died hazy mind. I feel like this reminded me of something. It doesn't matter. I don't care about those misgivings. Your wound is... How long did we stay like this? Sakura reluctantly pulls her lips from my arm. My head feels heavy. I still feel like Sakura sucking on me. It's like my mind is floating in the air. Still, I try to see if Sakura is okay.
ごちそうさまでした、先輩。
Thank you for the meal, senpai. Sakura drops her gaze apologetically. Then, I feel the last drop of tension leave me, as if I have used up all of my magical and physical strength. The lights go off in my head with a zap. I can't think about what comes after. I can't remember Sakura's gentle touch on my arm, or the pleasure of having my blood drained. It's just like giving my blood to Sakura was just a dream. I fall into deep slumber. My thorough, exhausted body forgets it all. So Sakura treated my cut and went back to her room. Anxiety lingering in the back of my mind, everything that happened tonight. I fall back into the light sleep I was in 1 hour ago. Oh, it's like we are witnessing the second incident now with the shadow or Sakura. It's in a sea of red. Water covers the familiar landscape, making the town seem like a fish tank. There's no air. Each time it breathes, something dark coils in its throat. It craves oxygen. But the harder it tries to breathe, the more the heavy air fills its lungs like water. So it's not different from being in the ocean. It pants, feeling suffocated. It was meant to live on land. It was born in the sea. Seeking to exit the water, it climbs towards the highest place in town. Still, it feels breathless. Looking down at the vast cityscape, the throat burns to lack of oxygen, and its suffering causes it to despise the peacefully sleeping city. Can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe. There's no air here. There's no pain here. Can't breathe, can't breathe, can't breathe. It's dragging something. The body is bewitchingly slippery and colorful. Can't breathe, can't breathe, not enough. Can't breathe. Dark hands gather several corpses. Crooked hands squeeze several corpses. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. With a squishy noise, something splashes all over it. It lacks oxygen. It's hard to breathe oxygen. The water pressure doesn't care. The water pressure is unbearable. Flowing liquid covers its body. Most likely it believes that this is the waterproof suit it needs to survive this ocean. It reaches out with its wrapped hands. Moonlit, dark hands become a giant shadow, descending to crush a part of a town. She wakes from her sleep. She grasps for air. Aghast from a shockingly realistic dream, she hugs her burning hot body. So, is it more like a connection to the shadow? Suddenly she feels something wet. Both of her hands are covered in dark red. Or not. She shuts her eyes and thrusts her hands away from herself. When she rarely opens them again, her hands are clean. Even if she was just hallucinating, she can't stop shaking. She trembles with fear, shuddering like a broken machine. The shaking might cause her rattling bolts in her ears to fall out. She imagines all of her insides falling out, one by one, until she lost too many parts to move anymore. Visual terrifies her so badly she can't stop shaking.
そうだ。顔を洗わないと。
My face. That's right. I need to wash my face. She goes to the bathroom. She can't take more than a few steps. Her trembling limbs won't obey her. She nearly falls over, bracing herself on a desk. Her vision is hazy. She can't walk to the door or even see it clearly. She can't remember what she was just dreaming about or why she got out of bed. She's breaking. She can't remember anything. She can't think of anything. All she feels is desire and hunger. All she wants are warm bodies and kind, gentle words. She slumps against the desk, shaking her head. She's filled with fear and boundless self-loathing. Something's wrong with her. She knows something is wrong with her. Why isn't it enough? She got more just a few hours ago. Isn't enough at all. She was so happy, thinking there must be no greater joy on earth. So why is it even close to enough? It must be because of how hollow and empty she is. That's why it isn't enough to fill her up. But she doesn't want anyone else to fill her up. That's why she wanted to keep becoming his forever and ever. She thought it would be fine with time, if her feelings, if other people, if all went away. So why did she make it happen? It's so mysterious, but she can't help not knowing why. And so she naturally thought it might be able to do it for her. She's giddy. It isn't some strange delusion. Just for an instant, she thought that sounded fun. And that terrifies her. She steadies herself on the table. Her body feels like it's about to fall apart, but she hangs on. Day by day, the scary dreams are becoming clearer. Day by day, the scary dreams stop being scary. That's why she's starting to break. Until now it was only her body. But now her mind is starting to go. She mumbles and weeps, biting her lip. It's fine if her memories are vague. She doesn't need to remember what happened a few hours ago. Her limbs won't listen to her. She isn't afraid of falling asleep forever. But she doesn't want to stop being herself. She doesn't want to be a bad person. She keeps going crazy bit by bit until she finally snaps. Once that happens, she's sure that she'll be the greatest cause of his suffering. She's afraid of that. She's afraid of going crazy. It terrifies her more than anything else so far. If she loses it, he won't touch her anymore. He won't love her anymore. They won't be able to be together anymore. And she won't even know when they are. That's not all. If she goes insane, he'll be with some other woman. She doesn't want that. Not at all. She always thought that he deserved someone better, but now she can't allow it to happen. After all, he already belongs to her. So she's afraid. Afraid of not knowing what she'll become once it happens. She knows how bad things are, and there's no way out. She can't tell anyone about her problem. If she does, she'll just end up back in the cold place she was before. She can't go back there now, but she knows warmth. She wants more, to be here, with him, and smile at him. She knows full well what she'll lose if this goes on. Her wish is a simple desire. For her own happiness, she has to ruin the one and only person who wants her to become happy. If she can do that, and she'll just keep breaking where no one can see her. If she is going to go crazy anyway, and she might as well disappear now and turn it into a monster while no one else is around. Surely, that is the right choice. But she's clinging to it. Because she's warm. Because she's happy. Because she wants more. Why me, she wonders. Why is she the only one who has to be cut for such simple ones? Cut off from such simple ones. She shakes off her weakness. She isn't jealous. She doesn't resent anyone. She defends herself. She just wants a little more time. No, this isn't me. She shakes her head in denial. In her empty head, she covers her dark heart. There's no off-ramp to happiness on this road. She turns away from an answer she already knows. Her clouded mind has long since fallen into a nightmare. She forces herself to stop wishing for someone to help her. She just keeps crying alone. So, that was the day or chapter, whatever you can or want to call it. It was quite something. It's really unnerving, I mean. Well, in the movie adaptation, you only see that stuff, but you don't really get to experience what Sakura is seeing or, well, experiencing. Overdose. Oh. So, with the day finished, I'm going to end this episode here. I hope you had fun. It's been me, Shokimo. And, well, I hope we are seeing each other in the next episode. Until then, goodbye.